Reborn in the apocalypse, I begin by plundering all the city's resources. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. 376, in the corpse wilderness, the mecha appears. Natasha and Yarla are already familiar with the giant beast seen several times. He had escaped death once, and it was really dangerous. It was an evolved wild boar, chasing their off-road vehicle, and crashed into a big tree, and the trunk fell down and crushed the off-road vehicle. Both of them thought they were going to die as a result. An evolutionary cow rushed out halfway, and the two giant beasts fought, giving Natasha and Yarla a chance to escape. It's not that evolution cattle saved them. In fact, evolutionary beasts regard each other as food in the eyes of evolutionary beasts. Humans are too small. Just like the small shrimps that humans see in the river ditch. It's not bad for a toothbrush when you're thirsty if you want to have a full meal. Other evolutionary beasts are more suitable. After all, the size is there. Is that a giant beast? Looks dead. Ellera pointed to the end of the road and asked in an uncertain tone. The beast was motionless and the body has lost its vitality. Indeed, it looks like it has died, but no one can fully guarantee it. After all, this world is changing too fast, and there are too many strange things, and the two of them can't figure it out for a while. How to do. This road is the only way to get to the makeshift camp. There may be unknown dangers and detours. 35 If you don't make a detour, you have to pass the corpse of the giant beast, or it may not be a corpse. Yarla's last words were meaningful. Now 580 Kesha naturally understands when they set off from the snow country. They were not only fully armed, but also carried bazooka in the gunship. But when he was refueling the plane at the airport, he encountered a zombie crisis. Not only the helicopter was lost, even heavy weapons were lost. If the giant beast on the side of the road is not a corpse, but is alive, then they will not even have a weapon to fight against. Call. Natasha observed for a long time. It was found that the giant beast was motionless, either dead or sleeping as an all-rounder. She's a rational person and will not risk her life and death rashly. Do you still have bullets in your gun? Ellera shook her head. Although the two were holding guns, the magazines had long been empty, and they were just pretending to hold weapons. I want to test it from a distance with a gun. The plan fell through. In fact, the temptation is also very dangerous. If it is possible to survive, even if a shot angers the giant beast, even if it is far away, the speed of the giant beast can quickly catch up. No way. Seeing that there was a 5-story building on the side of the road, Natasha came to the top floor to see the details. Now she saw another giant beast. He fell further away, motionless. Two giant beasts fell to the ground, less than 100 meters apart. They should all be dead. Natasha used the car radio to listen to the broadcast of the Red Queen. It was mentioned in particular that the territorial awareness of giant beasts is very strong, and it is impossible for two giant beasts to live peacefully in the same area unless it's a gregarious beast. But the gregarious beasts are extremely rare, and the probability of encountering them is extremely low. It is clear the two giant beasts in front did not live in groups, but rather competed for territory, and eventually perished together. Natasha came down from the roof. Come on, let's go ahead and take a look. Ellera was a little worried though. However, after following Natasha for so long, he knew her very well. Since he proposed to move forward, he should be confident. The two walked along the road, and it didn't take long before they came to the first giant beast. Is an evolutionary dog. It's the size of a big truck. The canine teeth are ferocious, but he is already dead. But he did not fight for territory with another giant beast because its fatal wound was a knife wound that almost cut off the neck. Natasha was also not sure if it was a stab wound because there are no such big knives. The neck of such a big beast was instantly cut open by some kind of sharp tool, and only the skin was still attached, which was truly incredible. What was it that killed it? Natasha frowned beautiful big eyes with an incredible look. I do not know either. It looks like it's been fatally shot, but what kind of creature can wield such a big knife? Ellera thought for a while. Since animals can evolve into giant beasts, will humans evolve into giants? BHCD, there is such a possibility. Natasha nodded and shook her head again. If human beings can really evolve into giants, the Red Queen should be mentioned on the radio. 99 We had been listening to the radio the other day. The Red Queen has never mentioned it. I don't think it was the giant who killed the giant beast, and even if there was a giant, where would she go to get such a big weapon? Natasha gestured at the wound on the evolution dog's neck. Look at it. The wound caused by this knife requires at least a giant heavy knife with a length of 5 or 6 meters to be fatal in one blow. You don't know anything about weapons. For such a long and heavy cold weapon, if you want to maintain its sharpness and strength, You must sacrifice toughness, and as a result, it will break with a single blow. Don't look at how powerful human technology is before the end of the world. In fact, no country can make a cold weapon that is 5 or 6 meters long and as high. Strength actual combat performance. Elora was also confused. She also thought about whether it could be a laser weapon. However, the incision of the fatal wound of the giant beast is smooth and flat, and there is no trace of burns, which can exclude laser weapons. Come on, let's go ahead and take a look. Natasha took Yarila to the corpse of another giant beast. This giant beast was also killed by a cold weapon, and the death is even worse. It seems that some kind of creature, holding a super huge long knife, slashed its head from the front. The ground is full of gooey brains not dry yet. Explained that the time of death is not long. Call. Nakesha let out a long breath. The shock in her heart is really indescribable. Does Bluster have transformers? After asking this question, she laughed at herself again. This is the real world. How can there be transformers? But just thought so, he heard Yarila exclaimed. Wow, transformers. Natasha looked up suspiciously, seeing the road. I don't know when a mecha warrior with a height of more than 10 meters appeared. The mecha is holding a giant heavy knife that is nearly 10 meters long. The blade shone with a chilling light. It walked step by step. Its heavy body did not make any movement on the road. There is also no vibration when the mech walks in the movie. Nakesha was shocked and looked at the sky-high mecha suspiciously. Her heart was filled with countless question marks. With her knowledge at this moment, she was so surprised that she couldn't say a word. And Yarila's eyelids jumped wildly. Natasha finally realized these two giant beasts were killed by the mecha warriors in front of them. The knife in its hand is the most direct evidence. Unconsciously the Kexin mecha came to the two of them, and a woman's voice came from the mecha's body. You went to Yizishin, right? 377, the leader of Yizishin should be a woman, right? Natasha and Yarila came to their senses. Heart cannot help but shock because the sky-high mecha in front of him turned out to be a human being, or a female warrior. Before the mecha did not speak, they had a lot of suspicion in their hearts. Aliens, evolved monsters, even unknown creatures and more. After all, the world has become weird enough. It's normal to speculate in a more bizarre direction, but I didn't expect that the mechas are humans. Speaking of human words, it is definitely not a monster. Yes, we are going to the temporary camp in Yizishin 55. Natasha answered at the same time. He motioned Yarila to join her and put down the weapon in his hand. It was an empty gun without bullets. It doesn't make any sense to hold it in the hand, especially in front of this mecha. It is not only meaningless, but also easily regarded as hostile. After the two put down their weapons, the cockpit on the chest of the mech opened. Inside stood an oriental woman. She doesn't look pretty. The thin face has distinct facial features. There is a coldness in his eyes, and there is a scar at the corner of his eye. I can see that this is a woman with a story. Hello, my name is Wang Shishi. I am a special type of Yizishin mecha, commander of the temporary camp in the Hangdun Mountains. 5. After speaking, the cockpit of the mech automatically closed again. Natasha and Yarila were shocked. She turned out to be a mecha warrior who has always been on. Is Yizishin so powerful? It has mecha, and it seems that there are quite a few because Wang Shishi said just now that she is only the commander of the temporary camp in the Hangdun Mountains. According to the broadcast of the Red Queen, Yizishin has temporary camps all over the country. Wouldn't it say the mecha warriors of Yizishin may be all over the country? Don't be stunned, just follow. Wang Shishi took the two and quickly returned to the camp. This is a farm below the Hangdun Mountains, used as a temporary camp, with a flat and empty farmland outside. Choose this place as a camp. It is to facilitate the landing of the modified passenger plane. Of course, if you really can't find a flat place, the suspension ability of the magic modified passenger plane can be used without landing. It's just that the survivors will be more troublesome to get up and down after returning to camp. Wang Shishi made a simple cross examination of Nakesha, and the two. Natasha did not tell the truth. She lied that she was a special soldier in the snow country, and Yarila was honest and directly stated that she was a radar soldier at the missile base. Natasha didn't want to lie. It's just that her identity is too special, and it's not a good thing to let others know at any time. But you can't call yourself an ordinary survivor. She and Yarila arrived here despite life and death, but the whole body was unscathed. People who say that they are ordinary survivors will not believe it, so he changed his identity as a special soldier. Is your marksmanship good? Wang Shishi asked. Yes. Wang Shishi opened the mecha cabin again, then waved his hand, and threw two automatic rifles and bullets from the storage bin, as well as a pile of cold weapons. These things, hand over to you. 99. I now officially appoint you as the commander of the Hangdun Mountains, the self-defense force of the temporary camp. You are the captain of the squadron. Wang Shishi pointed at the two. The guns are for you. When survivors come over in the future, you are responsible for receiving and distributing cold weapons. 35. The zombies nearby, You two need to organize to kill, until the plane from Yizishan comes to pick you up. Dun Wang Shishi closed the door of the mecha cockpit again. In the last days, everyone is in danger, and she must always be vigilant before signing a curse contract. What if Natasha and Yarla gave her a shuttle of bullets? The reason why she dared to open the hatch just now, it was because the Red Queen had already scanned it to confirm that there were no weapons on the two of them. Otherwise Wang Shishi would never have rashly revealed his true body. You plan your next work well. My mission is only to kill the nearby giant beasts. Scattered zombies need to be cleaned up by yourself. We don't raise waste. 5. And I don't know if you are a special soldier, but it doesn't matter. I just need to appoint a captain to manage the temporary camp and clean the surrounding security. This is also Xiao Yu's order. There are only 7 mechas in each security point, and 6 of them are responsible for clearing out safe routes. The last mech, serving as the camp commander. Don't look at the fact that there are only Natasha and Yarla now. There will definitely be more survivors to defect in the future. Wang Shishi can't manage it alone, and she spends most of the time in the mecha, which is inconvenient to show her real body. Ask for flowers. Because this mecha is too cool, the apocalypse thugs are everywhere. If she walks out of the mecha, there will inevitably be people who are desperate and will kill people and grab the mecha. So the best way is the commander sits at the camp. The people who manage the daily life of the camp are selected from the survivors. Anyway, it will only take a month or 2 to bring them back to Yizishan to sign the curse contract. There will be no worries. Your Excellency, Commander Natasha holding a samurai sword. Can I apply for another cold weapon? Yes, you can arrange the cold weapon yourself. I don't ask, but the hot weapon can only be owned by the two of you at this time. After Wang Shishi received the red prompt, .0 warning, there is an evolutionary behemoth 80 kilometers west of the temporary camp. Please go and clean it up immediately. Okay. Wang Shishi looked at the surveillance video in front of him. The giant beast has appeared in the picture. From the analysis of appearance, it is an evolution cat. By comparison, the body is smaller than other evolutionary beasts, but it is more flexible, quick in movement and extremely strong in jumping. But it's not a big problem. No matter how awesome the evolutionary beast is, it is a dish in front of the magic modified mecha. The camp is handed over to you. I have important tasks now. After Wang Shishi finished speaking, the metal hydrogen engine of the mecha started, and the engines on the soles of the feet and back spurted blue flames. Then it turned into blue light and flew in the direction of the evolution cat. Wow, Yarla opened with big eyes. He looked enviously at the mecha that was flying farther and farther. Yizishan is too powerful. It turned out to be a mecha. Before the end of the world, I have never heard of any country with mechas. This is also where Natasha is puzzled. She is an agent and has access to more secret information than ordinary people, but never heard of the existence of mecha. This stuff should only be in movies. Yizishan is getting more and more mysterious. What kind of magical power does the leader of this base area have? 39 Natasha didn't even know whether the leader of Yizishan was a man or a woman. The warriors of Yizishan are all women. The mecha warriors just now are also women. Natasha guessed that the leader of Yizishan is very likely to be a woman too. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 378, The Perception of Life and Death, The Wonderful Experience of Makeup Moon. The mecha driven by Wang Shishi has disappeared into the sky. Natasha and Yarla also gradually calmed down. The two put away all the cold weapons on the ground and put them in a room of the farm villa. Wait until someone comes to defect. Distribute it again. The two discussed how to manage the farm well. Although it is only a temporary camp, it is not difficult to analyze from Wang Shishi's tone that they should lie for a while. The other side on the Great Plains of the ancient capital, Xiao Yu wiped off the blood on her sword, and in front of her lay the corpse of an evolutionary mouse. Start from Qingchang Mountain. This is the third evolutionary mouse she has killed before the end of the world. There were already many mice. In the global evolution, the proportion of evolutionary mice is naturally more than other animals at this time. The energy consumption in Xiao Yu's body is huge. Fortunately, she wasn't injured. She just needed to find a place to rest. There is a farm compound on the plain. 580 built a 2-meter-high wall. Xiao Yu walked over, pushed open the door, and it was empty inside. She found a place to sit and closed her eyes to breathe. Although the 2-meter-high wall can't stop the evolutionary beast, at least it will feel safer in my heart, and the wall blocked the view even if an evolutionary beast passed by from a distance. The person inside could not be seen. Just weird. There is not a single living zombie on the Great Plains of the ancient capital. All of them are dead, some are long dead, the corpses rotted into skeletons. The first thing that Adverbial thought of was Yizishan. In the ancient capital of the Great Plains, the only survivor organization she knew was Yizishan, but thinking about it and getting together is incredible. The ancient capital plain is too large, and the radiation range of Yizi Mountain cannot be this far and kill all the zombies in such a large area. Even the pre-apocalyptic army might not be able to do it. Is unimaginable if it was really done by Yizishan. How did they kill all these zombies? Makeup month can't figure it out. Simply don't even think about it. She forced her eyes, and began to recover her body's wear and tear according to the usual way of breathing, but this time is different. She had a different feeling with each breath, as if the consciousness were cheering. It was a very wonderful feeling. If you have to describe it, body and consciousness are originally two forms of things, but they are closely integrated, so they cannot be separated. But at this moment, they meditated and adjusted their breath, which made them feel that their consciousness could be separated from the body. She didn't know if it was an illusion. Since the end of the world, after the masters and uncles became zombies, she encountered too many things that never happened in her practice, and there are no seniors to ask. Xiao Yu felt that this should not be an illusion, because it was too clear, and as a cultivator, her spirit was very full and firm. Under normal circumstances, hallucinations are impossible at this moment. She can clearly feel it, even though the consciousness and the physical body seem to have not been separated, but there are already signs of loosening and the consciousness is cheering, as if eager to break free from the shackles of the flesh. How is this going? Xiao Yu slowly opened her eyes, and there was a bit of worry and fear in her puzzled look. If I continue to meditate and breathe, can consciousness really be separated from the body? What would happen to me if we were really separated? Without consciousness, my physical body will be brain dead, and finally become a vegetative person. One thought flashed through my mind. The more she thought about it, the more scared she became. Even when the energy in her body was only half recovered, she stopped breathing, and she was worried about what unknown consequences would happen in case of true brain death. In the end, her body was eaten by a giant beast. Xiao Yu didn't want that. Even if she died, she would rather find a cave and die peacefully without being eaten. At this time a meow came from outside the fence, not the gentle meow I usually hear, but with a low roar. Immediately after, a huge cat's head sticks out of the wall, and two bowl-sized eyes stare at Xiao Yu with red light. Giant cat. Xiao Yu immediately stood up alertly. The hairs all over her body exploded. She could sense that the giant cat outside the wall was very dangerous, although not very big judging from the size of the cat's head. The body should be about the size of a minibus. However, cats are not mice. Its speed, agility, bounce, and reflexes are all top-notch. It's getting so big now the strength should improve by leaps and bounds. And it is very unlikely to rely on flexible walking and leaping to fight back like a giant mouse and even die because of it. Xiao Yu dare not move. She knew that she would never be able to outrun the giant cat, and the possibility of defeating the giant cat was even lower. So you can only stare at each other. There was murderous intent in his eyes, hope to force the opponent to retreat, but the evolution cat obviously doesn't have so many concerns, especially after evolution. The fierceness is infinitely amplified, and it wants to kill the prey when it sees it. Meow one with a low roar. The huge body of the evolution cat, the soul turned into the yard, and then like lightning the gray body brought out an after image. And the front paws were swung out at a speed that was indistinguishable to the naked eye. Ah! Xiao Yu screamed. She didn't see anything. She could only retreat quickly by instinct. She was lucky to escape the first attack of the evolution cat at this time. My mind was empty because she didn't have time to think about what to do next. The second claw of the evolution cat was already waving again. Speedy Xiao Yu didn't even see clearly, only felt that something swayed in front of her eyes. Then her body lost the ability to respond. The brain can no longer control the body. Meow. The evolution cat's huge eyes stared at Xiao Yu. At this time she had fallen in a pool of blood, and her throat had been cut by the sharp cat's claws. The carotid artery, trachea, and esophagus were all severed by this blow. She can't breathe, but the consciousness is clear, and there is no discomfort because of not being able to breathe. It's a wonderful feeling. Even though she couldn't even breathe, she didn't feel the pain of suffocation. Xiao Yu didn't understand what was going on at this point. She saw that the evolution cat started to eat herself. It might be because her body was already dead, so she couldn't feel the pain at this moment. Like physical death, she completely liberated her consciousness and thinking, becoming clearer and free from any constraints. At this moment she has no entity. It is like a spiritual body that cannot be touched, let alone seen, but she could see the giant cat eating its original flesh 1 by 2.32 mouthfuls. Evolution cats should be very hungry and ferocious, eating up their original flesh in 2 bites. Then he let out a loud cry. With a quick jump, he jumped out of the farm compound and went out to continue hunting in the compound. Only the consciousness of Makeup Moon is left. She floated quietly in the air, Her thoughts fell, either forward or backward, unfettered complete freedom. He became an elves between heaven and earth, as if the physical body in the past was just the shackles of consciousness. Its amazing makeup moon sighed with excitement at this time. A powerful suction began to pull on her soul like a hand from hell, trying to pull her back to the abyss. P.S. Hint. Never write fantasy, cultivators. The makeup month's experience is just a foreshadowing to uncover the truth of the world, and she will have a wonderful experience. G. 379, Compressed Solar System, Different Makeup Moon. Zhuangyi was terrified. She saw her body with her own eyes and was eaten by a giant cat, which meant that she was dead, but the consciousness is still there. It is not difficult to judge that he should be in a state of soul at present. I didn't believe it before I was alive after death. I finally understand that people really have souls. What frightened her was that her soul was being pulled by an invisible force, trying to drag it into the abyss. Makeup Moon's first reaction was hell. Since there is a soul, the legendary hell should also exist. Going to hell, drinking mengpo soup, forgetting the memory of the previous life, and reincarnating as a human. Zhuangyi has never done anything wrong. If there were hell and reincarnation, she wouldn't be reborn as a beast, but it was just her guess. After all, who knows if there is really hell? What if this power is to obliterate yourself? Anyway, she instinctively felt that the power to pull her soul was dangerous, full of malice. Zhuangyi desperately resisted. She started a tug of war with this force, and no one could do anything about it. The other side, in the underground base of the extreme south, the lizardman Samsara 17 officer was resting, and the adjutant hurried to report, "Your Excellency 35, there is an abnormal reaction from a soul. You'd better come and see." The reincarnation officer immediately became alert at this juncture. He was most afraid to hear such a thing happen because the reincarnation device is about to restart. The powerful technology of Yizishin also made him suspect that he might be a prisoner of the Alliance army, awakening a trace of his long-standing soul. That's why Yizishin's technology advances by leaps and bounds. This speculation has not been confirmed. The reincarnation officer also held a fluke mentality, hoping that he just thought too much. The news from the adjutant now made him agitated. Are there really prisoners who have awakened their souls? Tell me what's going on, the reincarnation officer asked anxiously as he walked towards the reincarnation control room. We haven't figured out the exact reason yet. 35 After a woman dies, the soul cannot be captured by the reincarnation net, and there are even signs of escape. Is there such a thing? The reincarnation officer was shocked. In a hurry, I have come to the reincarnation control room, which is equipped with a series of sophisticated instruments. These instruments are connected to tens of thousands of reincarnation devices. The memory of the soul in charge of Blue Star's life was erased, and after being cast, it was reborn in reincarnation. The lieutenant brought the reincarnation officer to a piece of equipment. A soul symbol is displayed on it, which continuously releases strong energy fluctuations to resist the capture of the reincarnation net. In the end, the Samsara net couldn't pull it into the Samsara device. The reincarnation officer spit out the letter. His heart was very anxious. Intensify the capture, a lizardman watcher said helplessly, reporting, Your Excellency, the capture efforts have been increased to the maximum. Is it the biggest already? No reason. Have you found out what's wrong with the soul? No one in the control room responded. I saw a few lizardman reincarnation monitors quickly operating in front of the device, and it seemed that they were analyzing the abnormality of this soul. Report, there are results, say, this soul has 4-dimensional energy, if nothing else. She absorbed a lot of 4-dimensional spiritual power during her lifetime, so her soul is even stronger. Our reincarnation net, affected by the barrier, can only capture the souls of 3-dimensional creatures, so the 4-dimensional energy in this soul can resist our capture. The reincarnation officer and the adjutant were surprised at the same time. How is this possible? 3-dimensional life. It is impossible to absorb 4-dimensional energy to strengthen the soul. Did you make a mistake, Your Excellency? We have used the authority of the old Imperial outpost to conduct a comprehensive analysis of this soul, and there can be no mistake. 5 Made, the lizardman reincarnation officer spat out a letter crazily. It's not easy to do now. If that soul really absorbs the 4-dimensional spiritual power, it really cannot capture it. Even she will completely break free from the shackles of the reincarnation net, become Blue Star prison. A destabilizing factor exists, Your Excellency. The reincarnation officer, we don't have to be so nervous. 35 Although the reincarnation net cannot capture the soul, it is still in the isolation fence and cannot escape from the solar system. Fences are not literally fences. It means to block. The universe is originally a 5-dimensional space. The 3-dimensional construction is the tangible foundation, and the 4-dimensional construction is the invisible energy, such as dark energy. It is invisible energy, untouchable, unobservable, but one can guess before the end of the world. Scientists guess that there is still dark energy in the universe, but there is no evidence. The reason is that the way to confirm the existence of dark energy is blocked by the isolation barrier. A fence is like a vacuum bottle. Even if the outside is full of oxygen, you are in the bottle and you can't breathe at all. The isolation column also has a name, called lunar matrix. The old empire installed 12 machines inside the moon to form a moon matrix, and the energy it released covered the entire solar system. The solar system in the 5-dimensional space is forcibly isolated into a 3-dimensional world. Therefore, the dimension of the entire solar system in the universe has been lowered by 2 grades before the end of the world. Human astronomers had discovered the fence. It is the 30,000 degree high temperature layer. Sam's Empire's Voyager spacecraft, launched 40 years ago, is on a mission to get out of the solar system. 40 years of long journeys after passing through the dangerous group of meteorites, finally reached the edge of the solar system, but found that it is full of high temperatures of more than 30,000 degrees, like a fireball, wrapping the solar system in it. No one knows how it came to be. No one knows the meaning of its existence. 580. The last far-fetched is attributed to the solar wind, which collides with various radiation and particles from interstellar space, forming a high-temperature layer. Only the lizardmen know it best. This high-temperature layer is the lunar matrix, formed by colliding with the energy of the outer space. When compressing the 4th and 5th dimensions of the solar system, it was called the fence by the old empire. The high temperature of 30,000 degrees in the isolation fence is just an appearance. The real power lies in burning the escaped soul. It is a burning flame of 4D and 5D energies. If you are imprisoned in the soul of Blue Star, because you accidentally escaped from the capture of the reincarnation net, you can only stray in the solar system once. They try to escape into outer space and attempt to return to the Union. They will be blocked by the high-latitude flames of the barrier. Although the soul does not die, but no soul can bear the pain of burning. The fence never had. Your Excellency the Reincarnation Officer 35. Although we can't capture the soul, we don't have to worry about her escaping. 35. The Reincarnation Officer glanced at the adjutant. An uneasy letter spits out of his mouth. You just know, she can't escape the confines of the fence, but neglected, a soul that can move freely, if she can continue to grow. What will she become? If she discovers the reincarnation device, and the lunar matrix equipment, will she destroy these devices? 380. Get rid of the reincarnation capture, realize the separation between heaven and man. The adjutant's eyes widened. The more I think about it, the more scared I feel. The reincarnation official said it is not unreasonable. A soul compressed in 3-dimensional space can absorb 4-dimensional energy. This is a weird phenomenon. If it's just an accidental absorption of 4D energy, that's nothing to worry about. I'm afraid she is taking the initiative to absorb it. This also means that this soul has mastered a special method that can absorb 4-dimensional energy in 3-dimensional space, like in a vacuum bottle. Originally it was impossible to absorb oxygen, but this soul can absorb the oxygen outside through the bottle. If so, the soul will continue to grow, especially now, without the shackles of the flesh. The growth rate will be faster when she truly transforms into a 4-dimensional soul. She can break away from the gravitational bond of the blue star and travel in the solar system. Once she discovers the lunar matrix, the consequences will be disastrous. It's abominable. If she was killed by a force from the 5th dimension, we still have a remedy, the adjutant said regretfully. The 5-dimensional power, although unable to destroy the soul, can redamage the vitality of the soul in outer space war. Whether it is the Alliance Army or the soldiers of the old empire, all those who die are destroyed by the 5-dimensional force. This kind of high-latitude blow will make the soul lose its vitality for a short time so it can be easily caught. But Xiao Yu died of the attack of the evolution cat, the destruction of this 3-dimensional force. Unable to hurt the soul, but she has absorbed the energy of the 4th dimension. The reincarnation net of the lizard people, affected by the lunar matrix, can only capture the souls of 3-dimensional creatures. This is embarrassing. It's like a god who descended into the mortal world from his own cultivation base, and was originally considered to be an extremely strong person who could crush the master of the mortal world. The result was an open hang. Not only can they be evenly matched, and it ran so fast that it couldn't be driven at all. Angry or not, the reincarnation officer and adjutant also had no choice but to pray in their hearts that the soul must not break free from the pull of the reincarnation net, even if you can't catch it, but not to let her escape the other side. Xiao Yu didn't know what happened. She just resisted instinctively, but the power is like brown sugar. It sticks to the body and can't get rid of it. No, I can't go on like this. Have to figure out a way, and Xiao Yu is constantly struggling. Her energy consumption is very large. This is the energy she gained from meditating and practicing during her lifetime. She used to think that these energies were stored in the flesh, but only after she died did she realize that those mysterious energies turned out to be integrated with the soul. With the continuous consumption of energies, Xiao Yu felt that she couldn't hold on for long. She has to meditate to recover the energy expended. Sit with your eyes closed, meditate on your mind, hold your hands firmly and meditate on your mind. Knock your teeth. 36. Hold Kunlun with both hands. Sound the heavenly drums from left to right, and here 24 degrees. Xiao Yu recited the cultivation technique in her heart. Consciousness moved with a magic formula and gradually entered the state of cultivation. Despite the pulling of that mysterious force, her soul did not move at all, and there is no physical bondage. She soon entered an ethereal state, as if she had entered the realm of unity between heaven and man, and her soul was surrounded by a more powerful energy. There is no physical obstruction. These energies can be absorbed faster and more pure. Makeup Moon even has an illusion. The previous physical body may have too many impurities, but when pure energy passes through the muscles and veins of the physical body, it is contaminated. Now directly absorbed by the soul, it is more pure. Even the whole consciousness became cheered. Makeup Moon is immersed in it and cannot extricate herself. Gradually her soul is getting stronger and stronger, and the pull of the mysterious power is getting lighter and lighter. It couldn't even have any effect on her. In fact, it's not that Samsaranet's capture force has become weaker, but that after Xiao Yu's soul has grown stronger, the pulling force has become insignificant. It's like the human body adapts to the blue star's gravity. The body naturally does not notice the discomfort if there are indigenous life on the moon. After arriving at blue star, it will be instantly overwhelmed by the strong gravitational force. Makeup Moon opened her eyes. Yes, open her eyes. Although she exists in the form of a soul, she still has a human form, including visual functions. Just by comparison, her senses are stronger outside the farmyard. A dangerous aura appeared, which Xiao Yu's soul consciousness instantly captured. You again. Even if she hadn't seen it yet, she already knew that it was the giant cat that ate her flesh. Makeup Moon thought the body appeared outside the compound and came to the evolution cat, but obviously the evolution cat didn't find her at all, and still walked to the compound on his own. And it seemed that he was ready to take this place as his territory. Humph. Now I can see you. 39. You can't see me. It can only be passively beaten. 35. For this giant beast that killed her, Xiao Yu both hated and was grateful. If not killed by it, I'm afraid I don't dare to take the initiative to abandon the physical body, and then, like now, exist in the form of a soul in a free and unrestrained manner. But, after all, it was the evolution cat that killed her. 66 feet. Keeping you. I'm afraid it will harm other survivors. Makeup Moon is very clear. It is no accident that she can continue to live in soul form after death. It was caused by crossing the river, by feeling the stones and making the soul stronger through cultivation without the guidance of the master. Although this is just speculation, however, her own body, she knows best. There is another possibility. After the end of the world, mysterious energy appeared in the air, which empowered her to strengthen her soul in her practice. Whatever the reason, ordinary people who don't know how to cultivate will definitely not be able to survive in the form of a soul after death. So, though she thanked Evolution Cat but still found a reason to hold back. Ready to kill it, Xiao Yu made a sword with her fingers. With a single finger, the majestic energy turned into sword energy and was released, instantly hitting the Evolution Cat. She was confident that this blow could kill the Evolution Cat, but the sword key directly passed through the Evolution Cat's body, and then submerged into the soil. Don't, legions, say to kill the evolution cat. Not even a single cat hair was cut off, and when it was submerged in the soil, even the weeds on the ground did not move. It feels weird. It seems that everything in front of him is just a projection, or in other words, he's out of tune with this world. How to describe it? Yes. Heaven and man are separated. 35. If you are not in a world, or not in a space-time frequency, you can see but cannot touch, and naturally you cannot kill the evolution cat. It's an amazing feeling. Xiao Yu was not surprised, no fear. She even found it very interesting, as if she was exploring an unknown time and space and experienced a wonderful journey. She had a whim. Otherwise, go to Yizishan and take a look. Although I can't communicate with the survivors there, at least it makes me feel not alone. 5. Xiao Yu still regards herself as a human being. At least she subconsciously thinks so she wants to go to Yizishan. Kin. 381. Is this another time and space? Before the end of the world, Xiao Yu visited Yizi Mountain. At that time, she was still in college, and she followed her family to the mountaintop manor to escape the summer. She liked the clean and elegant environment of Yizishan very much. Now she is in soul form. The body has been energized, without the constraints of the physical body, And walking is much faster than before. Don't even need to take a step. As long as the mind moves, the body will float and move quickly. She was even thinking if the survivors can see her, they will definitely be a ghost, and they will be scared. It didn't take long. Zhuanggai was on the plane again and saw the corpse of a giant cow. It was also the neck, which was split open by a large sharp blade, killing him in one stroke. Makeup was even more puzzled. After all, this was the corpse of the sixth giant beast she found. And it was unknown who killed it. She didn't think Yizhishan had such strength. After all, Yizhishan is a normal human survivor, unable to use such a big blade. Is it the legendary giant? Zhuanggai feels that this world is becoming more and more unfamiliar. If it was before, she would not believe in the existence of giants, but now she has never seen them. But if she does see giants, she will think it is reasonable. After all, a mouse can become the size of a car. It's not surprising that a giant appears. 580. At this time, a shadow quickly passed by in the distance, and blue flames spewed out behind him. Makeup Moon wants to see clearly. The shadow had already flown far away, heading towards Yizi Mountain. Is it an airplane? 39. It shouldn't be. The plane can't fly that low and not make any sound. 99. Makeup Moon is curious, so speed up the movement. Before long, she saw a mountain peak like a finger, reaching the sky. One finger mountain, finally reached. Now I don't have that kind of excitement anymore, because for Zhuanggai, this dangerous apocalypse can no longer hurt her. The reason she came to Yizhishan was simply because she felt that she was a human being. I want to see if this place is destroyed by zombies and giant beasts from afar. Although it was not completely dark, Yizi Mountain was already brightly lit. There's still electricity here, and there seems to be an endless supply of electricity, like pre-apocalyptic cities. Zhuanggai was surprised. Shouldn't the power be cut off long ago in the last days? Even if the generator's electricity is not open to supply. See the long absence of bright lights. Zhuanggai felt a breath of a BHCD, silk civilization. It's a wonderful feeling walking in the desolate and slaughtering apocalypse. Every night, what you see is pitch black. It seems that this world has returned to the dark and wild. Suddenly one day, seeing the bright lights, like the bustling scene of the city, even if you are in the end times, you will feel back to civilization in a trance. But outside the Yizhishan base, the huge beast figure made Zhuanggai wake up instantly. Crap. Yizhishan was besieged by giant beasts. Could this base rely on lights to disperse giant beasts? 55. But soon Makeup Month discovered the problem. These giant beasts seem to be very leisurely. Some are grazing, some are resting on the ground, and seeing those ferocious beasts is completely different from her. These giant beasts look a bit like domestic livestock, just bigger. After approaching, Zhuanggai became more sure of the guess. In her heart she saw that outside the base, there were giant cattle and sheep everywhere, as well as pigs, chickens, ducks, geese and so on. The largest cow, bigger than a container truck. The smallest chicken is about the same size as a car. There were still eggs on the grass that were not picked up in time, about the size of a basketball, but were crushed by a naughty lamb. Said it was a lamb. In fact, it is as big as a car. There is no scarlet color in the eyes of these giant beasts, and they look very calm and serene, exactly the same as the livestock raised on those farms before the end of the world. Makeup Moon has been raised by herself after the apocalypse broke out. The chickens, ducks and geese of King Chang Taoist temple were well taken care of by her. Even the sows were delivered. It's just that things changed one after another, and she had to reluctantly kill her. Could it be that these giant beasts are all raised by a finger mountain? Zhuanggai raised her head and looked at the brightly lit base, indescribably shocked. The giant beasts outside eat people everywhere. How did the Yizhishan base actually raise these giant beasts? Besides, Zhuanggai saw from a distance that a lot of huge shadows obscured the sky above Yizhishan. Obviously these are giant birds. She saw the giant bird on her way to Yizhishan. She was so frightened at the time that she hid in a farmhouse for a long time before she escaped. I didn't expect Yizhishan to raise so many. Makeup Moon was a little speechless. She continued to walk towards the base. By this time it was completely dark. The city wall of the base area shone with dense searchlights, and she saw many giant beasts standing under the city wall. They are not like the giant beasts on the grass outside, all in armor glittering under the street lights. Among these giant beasts are wolves, leopards, wild boars and other ferocious animals. Even at the gate of the city, there were two huge tigers lying on their backs. It looks like the defensive power of a finger mountain. Did Yizhishan tame these mighty beasts and become a defender of the city? 35. Zhuanggai looked at the heroic female warrior on the city wall. They live in harmony with the beasts under the city walls. There is also a huge school field on the other side. On the concrete ground, Densely packed aircraft are parked. They are special, all without wings. Xiao Yu saw 3 aircrafts landing from the sky, otherwise she would never have imagined that these things could fly. There are also many exaggerated chariots parked on the other side, like a mobile fortress. Whether it's an aircraft or a chariot, they are all unheard of equipment before the end of the world, which makes Xiao Yu even more confused about Yizishan. Is this a human base or an alien base? She had an illusion as if she had entered a different world, if it weren't for the fact that the woman standing on the city wall was a human female warrior. She would really suspect that there was an alien base in front of her. The makeup moon flew over the city wall. There is a large field of wheat in the base, and the evening wind blows, bringing the fragrance of wheat ears. This surprised Xiao Yu. If I remember correctly, it's November. The ancient capital has 4 distinct seasons. The wheat in this season is at most half a finger long, so how can there be wheat that is half the height of a human being? And it also bears ears of wheat on the edge of the wheat field. Dense buildings are built not very high. There are only 6 or 7 floors, but one building after another, densely packed. Every building is brightly lit, which means that Yizishan really has no shortage of electricity. There were smiles on people's faces. There was no look of fear. I even saw a lot of pregnant women. The people here seem to not take the last days seriously at all. At this moment, Xiao Yu began to doubt herself. Did my soul come to another time and space after my body died? This is not the blue star where I live at all. 382. Solve the problem of electricity consumption in overseas colonies. Xiao Yu's guess is also unreasonable. Since her physical death, everything she has seen has been so harmonious. No killings were seen, especially within the range of Yizi Mountain. Giant beasts walk everywhere, but they are all very docile. Even those giant beasts standing at the gate of the city looked very ferocious, but it doesn't hurt either, more like a tame behemoth. The base is peaceful, with endless electricity and some never-before-seen flying machines. This made her have to wonder if her soul came to another time and space after the death of the body. There are also giants here, but these behemoths don't hurt. Xiao Yu looked at the hilltop manor. Presumably, the upper floors of Yizishan should live in the manor. Go up and take a look. Maybe you can understand what's going on here. Makeup month has no way to communicate with people, so I thought if I could go to the high-rise living place, maybe I could overhear some useful information, at least to understand. This is not the previous blue star, the makeup moon in the form of soul. With a movement of the mind, the body will float to the sky. Soon came to the top of a finger. It's a little different from when I came here, but the layout of the building, as well as the garden pool, haven't changed much. It's just that the people who live on the top of the mountain are no longer tourists. Most are women in uniforms. Xiao Yu strolled around the hilltop manor, but didn't see a man. She had guessed before the high-level members of Yizishan should be all women, and now it seems that the guess is correct. But when she came to the largest villa, I saw that in the hall, 2 tables were filled with women in uniform, and a man was sitting right above one of the tables. It seemed that everyone respected him. Strange, the only man 99. What is his identity? Just then, the man said, have a meeting first and let the kitchen serve dinner later. Then the man continued, as of today, I have swept all the 29 chalet bases discovered by the Eastern Kingdom, except for the base at Shiraishi Park, where the nuclear fusion generator was blown up by a missile. The other generators were brought back intact, but it's still not enough. At present, we have 13 overseas colonies. This is only temporary. As the magic-modified warships go to sea, more colonies will be established soon. Without electricity, these colonies would be very dangerous. Do you have a better solution? After the man finished speaking, the women fell into silence. Obviously, this is a very troublesome problem, and Xiao Yu also realized that this man was the leader of Yizishan. It turned out that the top of Yizishan was a woman, but the leader was a man, and she is now basically confirmed that she is still the original blue star, not a plain world, because the man himself said that he destroyed the foundations of 29 chalet people. Makeup Moon remembers clearly when her mobile phone was still charged. A Red Queen who called herself Yizishan artificial intelligence announced to the world that the end of the day was caused by the Zilay people. The Shirai are going to destroy all of humanity, and the man in front of him actually destroyed 29 Zilay bases in one go. Makeup Moon realized Yizishan not only gained a firm foothold, but also began to counterattack against a mastermind behind the scenes. As long as it's still in blue stars, Xiao Yu secretly thought that although her identity was different, she still had a deep sense of belonging to the Blue Star people and the Oriental Kingdom. At this time, a woman at the table said, the power problem of the overseas colonies, in the long run, still has to rely on the nuclear fusion generators at the chalet base, but in the short term, we have to work it out. 35 Otherwise the beast attacks the colony, and without searchlights, our warriors cannot aim. Smart weapons alone are not a long-term solution. Although most countries in the world have hydropower stations, the power system is very complex. And we are not able to form a mature power transportation team for the time being. 5. There is a shortage of talent, so my suggestion is to replace it with a diesel generator before getting a fusion generator set. 35. Xiao Yu noticed that the man at the table frowned and said nothing. Obviously he doesn't quite agree with the man lights a chimney. Kexin, I don't agree with your proposal to generate electricity at night. We don't have that much diesel. The woman called Kexin smiled. Captain, my proposal is not to generate electricity all night. 99. The Red Queen can monitor the world, and even at night, large-scale corpses and giant beasts can be found. 4. Flowers, as long as the Red Queen finds a corpse tied or giant beasts attack the colony, she can sound the alarm ahead of time. At this time, the soldiers in the colony immediately generated electricity and turned on the searchlights, all of which were in time. The man called the captain nodded. So, as long as you don't generate electricity all night, the diesel consumption isn't that big, at least in the short term. We are acceptable. What I'm worried about is that the Zile people have been shrinking their heads. They don't send chip monsters anymore, so we can't track the base's location in reverse. There is no fusion power unit for the Shire. 99. Go on like this, the diesel we have stored can't stand up to consumptions. Xiao Yu also fell into contemplation along with the content of the meeting. 0. Although she was just a bystander, but she also participated in this meeting, because she always believed that she was still a human being and Yizishan was where she wanted to flee. It's here now even though the identities are different. There is a certain sense of belonging. She finally understood that Yizishan's inexhaustible electricity was because it robbed the Zile people's nuclear fusion generator. Now continue to expand overseas colonies. More fusion generators are needed at this time. A girl with a childlike appearance at the dining table said, Xiao Yu, I have a solution. So his name is Xiao Yu. The girl continued, didn't I have been modifying the mecha chariot recently, so I know very well about the magic modification machine tool and the performance of the chariot. Level 6 magic modified chariot uses a metal hydrogen engine. Not only is the power high, but the fuel consumption is negligibly low, since there is no electricity in the overseas colonies. Then we will remodel a number of cars, which will be ignited at night to act as generators. Take the consumption of metal hydrogen generators. If you just use electricity every night, you can fill up a tank of fuel and you can use it for 2 or 3 years. Xiao Yu couldn't help but be surprised. She never expected that Yizishan had mastered the metal hydrogen technology during college. She listened to her teacher in physics class. Metal hydrogen is only a theory, and the level of technology at the time could not produce this compressed metal at all. Unexpectedly, Yizishan has mastered it. Incredible. Again. 383. Make up Moon's thoughts. Maybe this is the truth of the world. Just when Xiao Yu shocked Yizishan to master the metal hydrogen technology, a girl in a red dress suddenly appeared at the dining table. Xiao Yu was slightly surprised. The girl's body seems to be virtual and feels very unreal. The girl in the red dress said, Master, Sister Xiaoran's suggestion is good. The electricity problem in overseas colonies can be solved by using the engine of the 6th level magic modified car, and I have confidence. 35. If I can upgrade my mainframe to level 8, my anti-tracking ability can be improved. At that time, you can directly capture satellite signal tracking, then find the base of the Sheila. Xiao Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. If so, that would be great. The Sheila base maintains communications, and there must be satellite signals. However, it is not easy to raise the Red Queen to level 8. The problem now is that 593 has not released a level 3 host for the time being. Whether it can even be revealed is unknown. 35 mecha warriors, as well as magic modified warships, hunt evolutionary beasts every day. Till this moment neither the level 3 experience ball nor the level 3 host has been brushed out, so Xiao Yu didn't dare to guarantee it 100%. However, according to past experience, with a continuous evolution of the giant beast, the strength will also increase accordingly. Maybe there is a chance to brush out a level 3 host. Just like zombies, the original zombies could only generate level 1 experience orbs, and later with the evolution, level 2 experience orbs appeared one after another. Okay, 35. It's settled for now. First, use the engine of the 6th level magic modified car to supply power. It would be best if you can raise the Queen to level 8. It's really not possible. We have to look for more diesel, and we have to be prepared. Everyone, let's eat. Soon, the kitchen brought a meal. Each table had 8 dishes and 2 soups, which were very rich, and Xiao Yu, who was watching, smacked her tongue secretly. This food is better than the 5-star hotel before the end of the world. One Finger Mountain is so rich. But what shocked her even more was the content of the meeting just now, especially Xiao Yu when he mentioned exploding the host. Zhuangyu didn't understand what it meant host upgrade. Shouldn't it be science and technology? How can you use explosive to describe it? At this time, the fragrance of the food attracted Zhuangyu's attention. Although she is in the form of a soul, she still retains the 5 qualities of human beings. She could smell everything because there is no physical isolation. Her 5 skills are more sensitive, but because she has no physical body, she cannot eat, and when she is hungry, she meditates to absorb energy for her. Energy is everything. Hungry, tired, weak, all rely on energy to solve. She realized that the soul might be the energy body. If you lose the bondage of the physical body, you will also lose the troubles of the physical body, and you will no longer need additional food and energy. There is no need to deal with physical injuries. The energy body in the form of soul is purer, more free and easy, and has fewer troubles. Make-up month is due to the heart. Suddenly there was a flash of light. Could this be the nature of the world? In the past, people would instinctively think that the world should be like this, that everyone has to experience birth, old age, sickness and death, but no one ever thought about it. Maybe the world shouldn't be like this from the perspective of makeup use at this time. She will feel that her shape is the most normal, carefree, no worldly troubles. Those human beings with physical bodies have to face the dark end times and endure psychological and physical torment. How should I describe it? 99 Yes, purgatory. Humans in the form of flesh are going through purgatory, and I have escaped purgatory. Zhuangyu didn't feel like she was thinking wildly. On the contrary, the more she thought about it, the more she felt that she was right. Comparing the 2 perspectives of happiness and suffering, it is obvious that if everyone loses the suffering that they have to face in the flesh, would everyone be happy? Zhuangyu walked out of the villa with her thoughts in mind. She stood in the garden, looking up at the azure starry sky, as beautiful as blue velvet spread out, studded with gems. The apocalypse brought industrial production to a halt. Without pollution, even the night sky becomes clearer. This kind of environment makes it easier to think deeply. Zhuangyu couldn't help asking herself, if my form is the norm for human beings, then why am I the only soul in existence? 99 What about the rest? The end of the world has come, and so many people have died. Where have their souls gone? She thought of the time when the physical body had just died. At that time the soul was still very fragile. A powerful mysterious force tried to drag her into the abyss, and that feeling is still fresh in my memory. Could it be that other people's souls have been captured? If that's the case, hell exists. Zhuangyu couldn't help but worry. If there is hell, even though she has escaped, there is no guarantee that she will continue to be arrested. The only one who can check and balance that arresting power is the power of his own cultivation. Before relying on meditation practice, after making the soul strong, it got rid of the arrest of the mysterious power. In that case, I should hurry up and practice. 35 Zhuangyu feels that Yizishan is very good. There are many human beings here, which gives her a sense of belonging. None of these people can see themselves, will not disturb the practice. You can practice here in peace. Zhuangyu chose the tallest villa, flew to the roof, sat under the stars and began to close her eyes. The following few days, Xiao Yu modified a batch of level 6 cars and distributed them to various overseas colonies. As a result, no raids were made on the bases of the Sheila. The 6 major families of the Zile people finally breathed a sigh of relief at the hexagonal conference table. Everyone almost cheered. Morgan's tense nerves also relaxed, and the wrinkles on his face seemed to be less. Great. For 4 days in a row, the man did not attack our base, and the bases that were captured earlier were all involved in the Corpse War. These bases either sent Corpse Kings or biochemical war pythons. It can be seen, One Finger Mountain detected the biochemical warrior's brain chip, and then implemented the anti-tracking technique. As long as we no longer send biochemical warriors in 2.3, they will not be discovered by Yizishan. 35 Everyone nodded in agreement. Suddenly there is a kind of happiness that escaped disaster. In the future, we will be more secretive. Taking advantage of the global evolution of the Pandora virus, we will restrain Yizishan's attention. And we will quietly develop more powerful biochemical warriors. If stronger biochemical warriors can be born, even if global evolution doesn't wipe out Yizishan, we can fight it. The 6 major families regained their confidence, even got up to counterattack. Morgan motioned for everyone to be quiet. Everyone, next, we must be more united, and we will not mention the family hegemony that was planned earlier. Now all scientific research results are shared. Only by solving Yizishan can we be qualified to restart the family hegemony. 384, I want to colonize you. There is no reason to say. On the western mainland, separated by 17 nautical miles, are the 3 islands of Country Y. The Falklands military base is located in the middle of the 3 islands. The base is temporarily in charge of Zhou Liangying due to the small number of zombies on the island. The soldiers cleaned up very early and accommodated the survivors of the base, and during this time, through the broadcast of the Red Queen, many Grusa people came to defect. The base currently has more than 1,000 people all signed the curse contract. Of course, the contract is the base of Penglai Island, which Yu Xiaojun has drawn up in advance. Use the space warehouse to transfer it to Zhouliangying as long as there are new arrivals. Send a signature survivors of the Falklands base, no brush and mirrored pins, only slaves and black pins. Black pins are fighters of coordinated defense. Slaves are responsible for production, fishing, farming, and improving infrastructure. It's all labor-intensive work. Zhouliangying looked at the toiling slave, and although she felt a little pity in her heart, she still believed Xiao Yu's order. She believed that Xiao Yu's decision could not be wrong. In fact, these slaves have also rebelled, and the Grusa people are always up to human rights and equality, and can't stand the high-intensity labor of this kind of oppression. 17 Rebellion is inevitable, but after being tortured again and again by the cursed contract, and after more than a dozen people died, he became obedient. A foreman with a black pin came to Zhouliangying. Judging by the cramped look on his face, he seemed to have something to say. What's up? Zhouliangying asked angrily. She really didn't want to have close contact with these guys with strong body odor. Really hope the base gets back on track soon, then she will be able to colonize other regions. Miss Commander, I am entrusted with all slaves, and I have some requests to convey to you. Looking at the foreman who looked like a gentleman, Zhouliangying nodded. Go ahead. The foreman tidied up the wording and said, we want to be free. 35 yes 99, that's what everyone means. Including the Black Pin warriors. We came to the base on the Falklands by ourselves, without your help, and we have been working here for so long. 5 We don't owe Yizishin. You can give a condition, and as long as the condition is met, give us freedom. Do you agree? Zhouliangying looked at the foreman with a meaningful smile on her pretty face. Free? The outside world is full of giant beasts and zombies. How can I give you freedom, borderline beast? The foreman shook his head and said, Miss Commander, you don't have to lie to me, although I don't know why the giant beast appeared, but not as exaggerated as you say. On the way to the Falklands base, we only saw the corpses of giant beasts. And the number was very small, 39. When crossing the sea, not a single giant beast was found. Show that the ocean is safe. We could find an island to live in, and for God's sake, set us free. Zhouliangying sneered. God? We Eastern people don't believe in God. If he really exists, why didn't he come to save you? And also, the reason why you didn't encounter any living giant beasts is because when we arrived at the Falklands base, the nearby giant beasts had already been cleared. 99 Especially the deep sea monsters. After killing, the corpse sank to the bottom of the sea, and you naturally won't touch it, if we didn't kill them all. 99 You are already dead. Zhouliangying changed a tactful tone and continued, actually, I don't really like colonization, but the leader of Yizishin asked so you must become slaves. 35 Why? The foreman looked at Zhouliangying in disbelief. Why? Because the genes of robbers and rogues are engraved in your bones. 55 This is the original sin. The leader of Yizishin specially requested that you Russians will be slaves forever, and you may not turn over. The foreman suddenly became excited. He is absolutely reluctant to admit that there is original sin in his genes. Impossible. We are the founders of modern civilization. How can we be robbers and hooligans, originally? Zhouliangying had some sympathy for them, seeing the appearance of the foreman who wanted to eat people. The only remaining sympathy was gone, isn't it? You robbed the whole world. You colonized the whole world. What, are you not robbers? What, are you not hooligans? The foreman also wanted to argue, but Zhouliangying was impatient. Shut up. Even if you are innocent, what if our leader wants to colonize you? Even if God comes, it will not change the outcome. Go down. 35 No more nonsense. Just take off your black pin, put on the shackles and become a slave. 35 Hang out with Xiao Yu for a while. Zhouliangying also became domineering and fierce, as long as she carried out Xiao Yu's orders. She would not feel wrong at this time. The Red Queen's voice entered the earphones. Vice Your Excellency. 39 A giant octopus appeared 30 nautical miles from the base of the Falkland Islands. 99 The biggest octopus I've ever seen, and there are thousands of deep-sea beasts around. I suspect that octopus has evolved into a king. They're swimming towards the base. It is recommended that you use long-range strikes to kill the octopus king first. Talking room. The Red Queen has switched the sonar field of view 3D map to Zhouliangying's eyes. The screen is full of red dots. Each red dot represents a giant sea beast, whose scalp looks numb after zooming in. You can clearly see their hideous faces, especially the Beastmaster, the body shape of Zhang Ye and claws. Any tentacle is at least 200 or 300 meters, surrounded by thousands of giant beasts. Zhou Liangying 593 immediately flew on the magic warship, Jialong warriors. All obey orders, ready to go to sea at any time. The firepower system immediately locks on the Beastmaster and prepares to kill him remotely. At the same time, the Beast King led the army and had already passed through the George Strait, approaching the inland sea of Wai, where the Falklands base was located, 30 nautical miles away at the speed of sea monsters. It can be reached in 20 minutes. Warriors, speed up, strive to take down the Falklands base in one fell swoop, smash the spirit of Yizishan, kill all those infidels, and let them pay with blood and blood. The Beastmaster continued to inspire the sea beasts. This is not an ordinary sea beast group, but the soul of the Zile people, which retains the memories of the past, and was possessed by the lizardman in the body of the giant beast. This giant beast army consists of more than 3,000 sea beasts. The Beastmaster is called Andrew, originally the Sassoon family, the commander of the base in the H province of the Eastern Kingdom. Xiao Yu bloodbath the base a few days ago killed more than 3,000 people in the entire base. Fortunately, they were reborn by the lizardman's reincarnation device, and after the commander was reborn, there was an instruction from the Holy Master in his mind, that is to take the Sea Beast Legion to destroy the overseas colony of Yizishan, the Falklands base. But Andrew didn't know the lizardman just used them as cannon fodder to test the strength of the Falklands base and prepare for the next behemoth attack. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 385. A torpedo hits the Sea King and drops a golden weapon. Beast King Andrew, leading an army of more than 3,000 sea beasts, began to speed up their swim towards the Falklands base. At this time it suddenly felt a deadly threat and was coming towards him. What exactly is unclear, but as a giant beast body, there is an instinctive intuition for danger, just like before an earthquake. Whether it is a bird in the sky or fish in the water, can sense it in advance. This is the compensation given by God, as a lower animal danger can be sensed in advance. Andrew didn't have time to think, and immediately ordered, "Quick, surround me." His size was so large that the other beasts automatically moved away from him to make room for swimming. Now it has become a deadly space following Andrew's order. The nearby giant beast hadn't reacted, and a black thing silently passed through the space, accurately hit Andrew's huge body. Bang! Like a deep-sea earthquake, the black thing exploded, and a powerful shock wave was released, and it became a place of absolute destruction within 300 meters in diameter. Andrew's huge body was blown to pieces. The waters 300 meters away also caused a strong tearing force because of the violent shock wave. In an instant, hundreds of giant beasts were shaken and their internal organs shattered to death. The giant beast army was in chaos. They are not ordinary giant beasts. They are the souls of the Zile people in their bodies, and they retain the memories of their lives. The way of thinking is also the same as that of human beings. What attacked us? Did anyone see clearly? Looks like a torpedo. It is impossible to have such a powerful torpedo, but I really saw it. It was a torpedo that hit Commander Andrew. Damn it, the Falklands base must have found us. It was fired from the battleship of Yizishan 35. One torpedo killed Commander Andrew, and so many soldiers around him were killed that we couldn't fight it. 39. Run quickly. But what to do with the instructions of the Lord? The giant beast army is in a tangle. They all want to run, however, their belief in the Lord made it difficult for them to choose. If it was before they just heard about the existence of the Holy Lord from the Holy Scriptures, and they may not have such firm beliefs as they are now, but since the resurrection from the dead, the Lord has left an oracle in their minds. These Shire people became extremely fanatical because the Holy Lord really exists and has been protecting them. Even after death, they can be reborn. Don't be afraid. The Lord can regenerate us once, and we can be reborn twice, 3 times, and more. For the sake of the Holy Master, rush. 9. Holy Lord bless us. Let's shred Yizishan's awful. Rush. Yet at this moment in all directions, a strong killing intent rushed forward, and the silver figure passed by like lightning. Puff puff. In one encounter, nearly 100 giant beasts died. They were either cut in half, or they were disemboweled, instantly killing them, and they didn't even have the strength to fight back. Most terrifying, only a silver shadow like lightning could be seen passing by, and after a successful strike, it immediately disappeared into the deep sea. Next moment it rushed out from all directions, and the sharp blades continued to harvest the sea beasts. Less than 3 minutes the Chalet giant beast army was killed by nearly 1,000. But they still didn't know what attacked them because the speed is too fast. Ghost, are we attacked by deep sea ghosts? It's so fast that you can't even see what they are. This battle is out of the question. Run away. We don't have to make fearless sacrifices. It's an unwinnable battle. Holy Master Minjin, my belief in you remains unchanged, but we don't even know what each other is. Please forgive me. 5. The Shirai beasts fled, but the Red Queen has already locked these giant beasts. That's right. It was the Xiaoran troop who attacked the Zile people's giant beast army, and only those with 10 times the ability to move can have such a fast speed underwater. A silver water dragon, under the prompting of the Red Queen, continued to harvest the Shirai giant beast army. Lots of lucky chips dropped and picked up by the dragon warrior. You must know that the lucky chips dropped by the giant beasts, once the equipment is out, the worst is the blue quality. Most of them are purple. There are also many oranges. Moreover, the deep sea monsters have a high probability of dropping Sea King exclusive weapons at present. The 1,000 Xiaoran troops basically have one Sea King weapon on the battleship led by Zhou Liangying. There were 100 dragon warriors, all armed with the weapons of the King of the Sea. All to hear 35. Don't let any sea beast go. You must kill it completely. 99. Every deep sea behemoth means there is a chance to drop a Sea King weapon. Xiao Yu's Flood Dragon army will be expanded, so you need a lot of Sea King weapons at this time. Zhou Liangying swam to the area where the torpedo exploded. The seawater had been dyed red by Andrew's blood, and his minced meat was floating everywhere. Also floating, there are 6 lucky chips. This was killed by a magic-modified warship. In Zhou Liangying's eyes, it was the Beastmaster who broke it out. She thought it would drop good things, so she ordered it in advance, and no one was allowed to pick it up. Was drops items, you must open it yourself. There might be something good. Zhou Liangying's thoughts moved, and the 6 lucky chips were all put into the storage bin, and the prompt sounded. Ling. You picked up the lucky chips and turned into Golden Sea King / Sure enough, the boss dropped. The first one is the golden quality, which is a pleasant surprise. The prompt continues to sound. Ling. You picked up the lucky chip and turned it into Purple Sea King sword. Really want what to come now. There is an urgent shortage of Neptune weapons to expand the Xiaoran troop. I didn't expect that a big explosion would be 2 weapons. Ling. You picked up a lucky chip and turned it into Blue Sniper rifle. Ling. You picked up lucky chips and turned them into a box of golden bricks. Tisk. Boss is not the same. The gold bricks are all bursts in a box. Lin Nuaheo. Ling. You picked up a lucky chip and turned it into level 3 EXP ball X1. Ling. You picked up the lucky chips and turned into level 3 Red Queen host X1. AA. Zhou Liangying laughed happily. Level 3 experience ball, level 3 Red Queen host. These 2 things are the items that the team lacks the most, and even once suspected that there will be no monster explosion in a short period of time. Unexpectedly, the Beastmaster exploded. What a surprise! Zhou Liangying immediately swam back to the Falklands base, and then flew to the battleship to contact Xiao Yu. Captain, good news, I killed a deep sea Beastmaster here, and exploded a level 3 experience ball and a level 3 Red Queen host 99. Okay. I'll transfer it to you right away. Zhou Liangying showed a smile like a small fortune fan. Haha, give the experience ball and the host to the captain. She should not ask for my Golden Sea King again. She was so jealous of this golden weapon. 386. Suggestions in the dark. The threat of evolutionary worms. Zhou Liangying chopped out the Golden Sea King. This is a weapon like a Pudeo, with a handle 1 meter long and a blade 1 meter long. Aquaman's exclusive weapon has a changeable attribute that can make the weapon 50 times larger, but the gold quality can be 100 times larger. That is to say, this Neptune can be extended to 200 meters long. Ignore the resistance of deep sea pressure with the sharpness of golden quality. Even the Beastmaster can cut in half with 1 stroke, instantly killing him. The entire 1-finger mountain is this Golden Sea King weapon. Zhou Liangying wanted to deduct it privately, but after thinking about it, I decided to report it to Xiao Yu. Captain, the Beastmaster also exploded a golden weapon. You keep it yet? Zhou Liangying was very happy. Xiao Yu is happier now. Golden weapons are not important to him. With his current strength, even if he doesn't want weapons, there is no opponent on Blue Star at this time. Xiao Yu was holding a level 3 experience ball and a level 3 Red Queen host. Beastmaster explosion level 3 props. This is great news. The skills of the players are expected to be upgraded. The Red Queen appeared in front of Xiao Yu. Master, why don't you tell me? With a level 3 host, I can continue to upgrade. 5. The Red Queen looks like a PDF child, very human, not like artificial. 597 intelligence at all. By the way, after the red, do you feel that there is an upper limit for your console upgrade? Some masters, according to my system information, The maximum can only be upgraded to level 9, 99. This is the limit, but it doesn't rule out that you can continue to improve after level 9. But I feel that the conventional way of leveling up may not work. The regular upgrade mentioned by the Red Queen refers to swallowing the host chip, since the Red Queen does not know. Xiao Yu didn't ask any more. In fact, he wanted to ask, if the Red Queen continues to upgrade, is it possible to become a real-life kind of flesh and blood? However, when the words came to the mouth, they still did not ask, because the Red Queen is very humane. Xiao Yu felt that asking such a question would inevitably make her unhappy. You can swallow this chip first. Xiao Yu dismantled the level 3 main unit, took out the chip inside and gave it to the Red Queen. Don't count on one chip to get to level 8. According to the information, the Red Queen needs to swallow 50 level 3 chips in order to upgrade to level 8. That means you need to kill 50 Beast Masters. There is a long way to go. 99. Xiao Yu said with emotion. The Red Queen said, Master, I don't think it is difficult. According to my observation, the most advanced beasts grow very fast. I think these behemoths are very talented. In the future, everyone has the hope of becoming a Beastmaster. Xiao Yu's eyes lit up. It would be nice if that were the case. Although Yizishan's mecha troops were slaughtering giant beasts every day, they were all giant beasts from the Eastern Kingdom. The world is so big, there are many giant beasts that have evolved. If they can really become the Beast King, not only will they be able to raise the Queen to the full level, even the skills of all team members can be upgraded to full level. Global evolution is unstoppable. If we say that these behemoths are the most advanced, they are a group of talented people. 35. Doesn't it mean that those with poor talent will evolve collectively after a certain period of time? 99. Like a full-blown T-virus outbreak. Red nodded. It's very likely. 35. Although we cannot conclude at present, from past experience, there is a high probability of collective evolution at a certain time. 39. Xiao Yu groaned. The mood is a bit heavy. After all, there is already a rough guess about what the future will look like. Just imagine there are towering ancient trees everywhere, giant beasts everywhere, and even ordinary weeds can grow above their heads. The living space of human beings will be infinitely compressed. The world that once was, will never go back. Have to face a whole new apocalyptic world. Fortunately, Xiao Yu started the layout of Dongfeng Kingdom in advance, and the surviving humans could be preserved as much as possible. As for other countries, can only see the will of God. On the one hand, overseas colonies are colonization, and on the other hand, they also hope to preserve the race. There are only people from the East in the world. Thinking about it makes bhcd pathetic. The conversation between Xiao Yu and the Red Queen just now was overheard by the makeup moon on the roof. In her soul form, because she is no longer bound by her body, her hearing is extremely sharp. Upgrade the host, upgrade your skills, Beastmaster explosion props, collective evolution. Words that she had never heard before came into her ears, which surprised her. In high school, she was taken by her classmates and played online games for a while. Know the meaning of upgrading skills and explosive props, but that's a game. How can this happen in reality? She had to wonder if the time and space she was in was the same world. Maybe it's the plain world in the past. The online games in that world might have been influenced by the current plain world, and the setting of monster killing and blasting props was created. It's not impossible either. From a scientific point of view, the trajectory of the universe will affect each other just like many people dream, a place that has never been before, but feels very familiar. This is the influence of the plane universe. It's a pity that I can't communicate with the people in Yizishan. Otherwise I must ask carefully. 35. Xiao sighed helplessly. She can only pin her hopes on cultivation now. She felt that after losing her physical body, her cultivation speed became faster and faster, and her soul grew stronger and stronger. Soul perception is very keen. There was a voice hinting at her that if she broke through the limit, she could transform. Although I don't know exactly what the transformation is, but Xiao doesn't have a better choice, and now she can only go all the way to the dark and see what she will become in the end. It would be nice if I could communicate with other people after the transformation. The other side in Sam's Empire Desert Casino. A big event happened at the Morgan family headquarters. Mr. Morgan, our base was destroyed by evolution beasts. Morgan was taken aback. What happened? The artificial intelligence immediately reported. The residential area on the 38th floor of the base was destroyed by a desert worm evolved by the Pandora virus. 99. The reinforced concrete wall was not through, but fortunately, it was killed in time without causing any casualties. Morgan breathed a sigh of relief. This is not a good sign. Everyone in the Hill knows that global evolution kicked off with the release of the Pandora virus. Big as a beast, small to insects, the future will evolve. Morgan considers himself lucky because his headquarters is in the desert. There are very few animals here, and the probability of evolutionary beasts is very low. Just never expected that desert worms also evolved. biting through the reinforced concrete walls of the base. Damn it, do evolutionary worms have teeth that sharp? The walls of our base are designed to resist earthquakes of magnitude 9, and only a lot of steel bars are used. 35 evolutionary worms can actually bite through dense steel bars. Take me there. 387. Crisis of the Zilay people. Expand the Dragon Army. Morgan came to the residential area on the 38th floor, and the body of the evolutionary desert worm had not been cleaned up. That's when Morgan noticed the walls of the base have been damaged by desert worms, and in one place a hole the size of a calf has been bitten out. Half of the worm corpse slumped and pulled at the entrance of the hole. It must have been the guard who discovered the desert worm in advance, and it was killed before it had time to crawl out. Drag the body out. 2 base soldiers stepped forward, grabbed the desert worm and pulled it out but can't pull it all. Several more soldiers came up to help, and with great effort, finally dragged out the body of the desert worm. Not as exaggerated as in the movie, but there is also a 10-meter long body, a body almost as thick as a calf, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. Don't look at the thick thighs only, but the desert worm has no bones, and its body is very capable of extending horizontally and vertically. It's no problem to swallow a large living person in one bite. Morgan couldn't help shivering. If you fall asleep and are sneaked into the base by this thing, it will be a big trouble. Although the base has artificial intelligence surveillance, there are also personnel guarding the monitoring rooms on each floor 24 hours a day, but there is always a sparse 100 secrets. There are a large number of surveillance dead spots in the base, such as toilets, bathrooms, and the interior of houses, which are all private spaces and cannot be exposed to surveillance. The base is so big desert worms live in the gravel, and no one knows from which direction they will destroy the base. Morgan felt a little irritable. Block the hole. After speaking, he returned to the conference room, called the senior management of the base, and held a simple meeting. He realized the seriousness of the problem. The base is in the desert, and it is not safe. After much deliberation, Morgan made a decision. Everyone 35, I need you to mobilize everyone to unite the interior of the housing, including the installation of surveillance in the bathroom. 35 Only in this way can artificial intelligence grasp more dead-end areas. Of course, more private toilets and bedrooms can be installed without it. This is also impossible if the toilets and bedrooms are installed. It is estimated that the people in the base will rebel. Even going to the toilet was under surveillance. Being shy with a woman is equivalent to a live broadcast. No one can accept this kind of thing. Also, send our evolutionary beasts to patrol around the base. As soon as you find desert worms, kill them immediately. Each base of the Zilay people controls a large number of evolutionary beasts. These evolved beasts were originally ordinary animals before evolution. It was transformed into a biochemical beast, implanted with a brain chip, and then evolved again by the Pandora virus. Combat is very powerful, usually responsible for guarding the base, and the operation is also very secretive, as far as possible not to let Yizishan discover. But now the base is under threat. Morgan also had to send these evolutionary beasts out on missions. Remember, try not to act during the day as much as possible. 99 Although Yizishan has synthetic aperture radar monitoring, it is relatively easy to avoid radar at night. At this time, Sam's empire was at night. Follow Morgan's orders in the desert outside the base. A small sand dune slowly wriggled, and the gravel slid all around, revealing the true face. Hidden under the dune is an evolutionary desert rattlesnake. The desert rattlesnake itself is a master hunter who is good at camouflage, and usually lurks its body under the sand layer, only exposing a small tail to make noises, attracting other prey to come. Desert rattlesnakes begin patrolling their territory. It has been instructed to die when it sees desert worms. At the same time, more evolutionary beasts lurking in the desert followed suit. The most numerous are evolutionary scorpions. The evolutionary scorpion, the size of a car, looks for prey everywhere in the dark. An evolutionary scorpion found a calf-thick burrow in the desert, such a large cave. It is impossible for ordinary animals. The soldiers of the Morgan base immediately commanded the evolutionary scorpion to dig the cave and let more scorpions come to help. 20 evolutionary scorpions dug down together. The loose sand was dug up quickly, and as the dig deepened, the burrows below crisscrossed, apparently the den of a social animal. Soon, an evolutionary scorpion dug into the desert worm. The two evolutionary beasts scuffled together. The Zilay warriors in charge of commanding immediately ordered the two scorpions next to them to help. 3-on-1. The evolutionary worm was soon torn to pieces and divided. With evolution, scorpions continue to dig. Several desert worms appeared below, and they were killed without exception. The other side. A desert iguana is much simpler and cruder, seeking flowers. Its body is like a small hill, very large, and when a cave is found, it is very violently dug up. When I saw a desert worm, I stretched out my tongue, and the 10-meter long worm was rolled into my mouth. Go, go, Go eat it directly as spicy strips. 10-meter-long worms are eaten as spicy sticks, a picture that can only be seen in pre-apocalyptic movies. Pictures of Skull Island can be seen everywhere before long. The world will become a magnified Skull Island. Even the Shirai people hiding at the base were horrified to see desert iguanas eating evolution worms as hot sticks. Human beings are too small in the face of great evolution. The night passed outside the Morgan base. The controlled evolutionary beast lurked again under the sand layer to hide. Although last night a large area of desert worms were cleaned up, but only relative. The desert is so big, the sand is so deep, it can be guessed without confirmation that there must be worms under the sand layer. So the monitoring of the enhanced base must continue, and last night Morgan had an overnight hexagon meeting. The 5 major families are currently more or less threatened by the underground evolutionary beasts. Even with precautions and advance, it is also unable to prevent the ubiquitous insects underground. Some have weak attack power after evolution, and some are small in size, but very destructive. The threat to the base is great. This is also the reason why the Shirai feel that the Lord has abandoned them. Global evolution, no one can stay out of it. This is also the reason why the lizardmen wanted to use this method to destroy Yizishan, but they didn't know that Bai Jin's environmental transformation prevented the disaster brought about by the great evolution. The other side at the Falklands base, Zhou Liangying is taking stock of the harvest. During the day, 100 dragon warriors went out to sea with the assistance of the Red Queen. More than 3,000 sea beast legions were wiped out, and more than 1,000 items were released. There are gold, guns, bullets, cold weapons, level 2 experience balls and hosts. Although the level 2 experience ball and the host are useless, but it will still explode. The biggest gain is the Sea King weapon, and there is a high chance that the ocean giant will explode the Sea King weapon. More than 400 Sea King weapons were harvested in this battle. Zhou Liangying immediately reported to Xiao Yu, "Captain, I have produced more than 400 Sea King weapons here. The Xiaolong army can be expanded." Again. 388, a female zombie with a red dress and a waterfall of ink. Xiao Yu was also very happy after receiving the news. The Xiaolong troop is the trump card of the overseas colonies. If you want to control the deep sea, the more the better. The premise is to have enough weapons at Zhou Liangying's Falklands base. More than 400 Aquaman weapons were produced in one battle, which surprised Xiao Yu. So Han Kexin immediately asked Han Kexin to select suitable candidates from the base at present. The Yizishan base and the Luhu base together have a total population of more than 48,000. Become a talent transfer base in the national battlefield. However, the base area can no longer accommodate more people, especially next 500 security points across the country. People have come to defect one after another. It won't be long before they start transporting to the ancient capital plane. The total number of these people is definitely more than the Yizishan base, which means that more housing is needed. There are many houses in the ancient capital of the Great Plains, especially in the ancient urban area. All the zombies in May 97 have been cleaned up, and even 10 million people can live there. But the corpses of zombies in the ancient capital are everywhere in the city, at least until next summer is over. It will be completely rotten. If you really want to live in, it is best to wait until the next year. Xiao Yu had a meeting with the high-level executives, and there will definitely be those who defect to Yizishan in the future, all of which are arranged in a nearby town. There is no problem in housing 5 or 6,000 people in each town. The housing problem is solved. It's just that water and electricity are a little more troublesome. You have to dig a well to store water, and you have to connect the power supply from Yizishan, so you have to choose a town near the river. Water problem can be ensured. The task of digging the well is left to Wudaking. There are many well drilling trucks in Yizishan. After the magic reform, the efficiency is very high. The power maintenance department was also established very early. Directly from the Yizishan wiring, connect to the original line to complete the power transportation. The food problem has long since been resolved. Even if there are no farms in Yizishan, the granaries around the world will be enough for the survivors to eat for thousands of years. After all, Yizishan can build warehouses indefinitely. The imprint of the law of time and space is arranged in the warehouse. The space is expanded by 10,000 times, the internal time stops passing, and it will not deteriorate for a long time. Xiao Yu drank tea leisurely, enjoying the comfort of the apocalypse. Zhuangyu on the roof glanced at Xiao Yu, eyes full of envy. Since all the tea in King Chang Taoist temple was drank, she drank boiled water for a long time. Smell the tea now. I really want to take a sip. Although the soul form has zero demand for material energy, it does not affect the taste of delicious food. Now I can only watch, not drink. I'm really sad. The other side, in the Hangdun Mountains, more than 200 people have come to the temporary camp of the farm. The commander of the camp is the Mecha warrior Wang Shishi. Her task was to clear the nearby giant beasts. But the task of clearing the zombies near the camp was handed over to Natasha and Yarla. The two were appointed as temporary camp security team captain and deputy team, respectively. Natasha's management skills are still good. More than 200 people were all handed out weapons, all cold weapons. The quality is from white to blue. To deal with zombies, white cold weapons can easily kill. Green and blue are just for status. The braver and the stronger the combat power, the more qualified to use the colored cold weapons. Nakasha divided more than 200 people into 5 squadrons and 25 squads, 10 people per team. 4 squadrons are responsible for patrolling and cleaning up during the day, and 1 squadron is responsible for security guarding at night. Report to Captain. A soldier came to report, 20 kilometers away from the camp, there is a group of zombies. The number is about 300. These zombies are very unusual. Natasha asked, clarify, what's going on? The soldiers immediately reported the problems they discovered to Natasha in detail. Just an hour ago, a group of zombies entered the mountain from a small town outside the mountain and fought with a patrol team. The fighting power of these zombies is very strong. 1 soldier was killed, 2 others were almost bitten, and this group of zombies also know how to use the terrain to attack the patrol team from a commanding height. Even if a single weapon can't kill them, the most important is one of the zombies actually hid behind the group of corpses and threw stones at the people below. The corpse occupied a rocky slope with endless stones. The power to evolve zombies is great. Pick up a big rock and smash it down, and the people below have to avoid it immediately. 7 fighters have already been stoned. After listening to this, Nakasha couldn't help frowning. Does any zombie know how to use tools? Natasha, Elora reminded. Do you remember when we were refueling the helicopters at an airport? In the original airport, most of the zombies were trapped in the terminal building, but a few zombies smashed the glass of the terminal, causing a large number of zombies to rush to the apron. We were almost surrounded. Despite escaping, it also resulted in the loss of the helicopter. Natasha nodded. Of course she remembered it, and was very impressed. I understand your idea. In that airport, there are also zombies who can use tools. It seems that some zombies have evolved to use tools, and it is not ruled out that some zombies can use weapons. Go. Show me. 39. Natasha let the warrior lead the way. She went with Yarla to see it. Natasha is confident that even if the zombies evolve to use weapons, they are not her opponents after all. It's an all-rounder, and she and Yarla have automatic rifles. The two got into the off-road vehicle the soldiers who reported the letter drove, and it didn't take long for them to come to the foot of a rocky slope, and there were many soldiers of the patrol team standing on the side of the road. Natasha got out of the car. Brigade. Everyone saluted Natasha without caring about her status as a foreigner. Natasha was respected by survivors in the makeshift camp because the strength is there, and when he was out on a mission, he also saved a lot of people's lives. Natasha saw the soldiers by the road. 7 or 8 of them had already been painted, some had scratched their faces, and some were sitting on the ground holding their legs. There was also a large group of zombies roaring on the hillside. Seems to be warning, send the wounded back first, and leave those with minor injuries, and we are ready to counterattack. Yes, a bus pulled the 2.36 wounded back. Report number of people here, 5 report, including the wounded who left. There are a total of 5 teams, but there are only 44 people at present. Natasha nodded. More than 40 people, all with cold weapons that cut iron like mud. If they can't deal with more than 300 zombies, it will be a joke. Who can throw stones? Which zombie is that? Human. Report, zombie in red. Oh. Natasha took a closer look and saw that the zombies on the hillside were all ragged, and even some zombies had 2 rags hanging from their bodies. There is only one zombie dressed neatly with long black hair. It is obviously a female zombie. Interesting. Not only can I use tools, but I also know how to change into clean clothes. Looks like he already has an IQ 389. Zombies that restore their memories before death. I have never eaten people. Natasha looked at the red-clothed zombies on the gravel slope, thinking about one thing in her heart. This zombie is very special if it is easy to kill. With her marksmanship, as long as she rushes to the higher hillside behind, she can rely on the commanding heights to snipe. But she also wanted a zombie on the head of the one who was caught alive. After all, the zombies who know how to use tools and love clean are so special it has high research value. Natasha thought about it and decided to capture it alive. Everyone obeys. Flank and attack from both sides. Avoid the rolling stones, and I will first hurt the zombie that threw the stone, then you kill them together. Remember, don't kill that red zombie. 99. Natasha quickly developed a strategy. The reason why the soldiers could not attack was because there were very few places on the rocky slope where they could stand firm. The corpse occupied the commanding heights. Again, if you want to kill, You must face the rolling stones thrown from the hillside. Zombies in red should have evolved several times great power. If you pick up a stone casually, it will weigh 50 to 60 pounds, and it can be thrown down like a sandbag with the help of slope and speed. If you hit someone casually, you will be seriously injured if you are not careful. However, Na 17 Keisha has hot weapons. As long as the body of the red-clothed zombie is severely damaged, her hands cannot exert strength, and she cannot throw stones. Natasha rushed up first, then climbed a large rock and aimed her gun at the hillside. Swish swish. She pulled the trigger and fired bullets at the corpse, but not aiming at the head. Automatic rifle in blue quality penetration is very strong. The bullet passed through the corpse group and hit the red-clothed zombie. She let out a painful roar. The body was also punched through a dozen holes. Although it will not cause death, it will affect the strength of the hands. Quick! Rush up. Yarla saw the opportunity and led people to start rushing up. Ordinary zombies don't throw stones. The only thing they can do is to surround the red-clothed zombies for protection. The red-clothed zombie let out a piercing scream. It seems that she controlled more than 300 zombies through this voice. Natayusa noticed the red-clothed zombie tried to pick up the stone many times, but his body was punched through more than a dozen holes, and his hands couldn't use his strength at all. And she controlled a group of corpses. In addition to screaming, it was accompanied by howls of pain. Nakesha was shocked. Could it be that the red-clothed zombies have evolved to have neurological illusions? Otherwise it shouldn't roar in pain. It's getting more and more interesting. Gradually, the soldiers rushed up the hillside, then quickly dispersed, surrounding the corpse. The two sides immediately engaged in melee combat. However, the zombies are defenseless, and they have no resistance to the long swords that cut iron like mud in the hands of the soldiers. Soldiers just need to keep swinging their swords. It doesn't even need to exert much effort. The zombies are either cut off in half, or their heads are moved. The battle went smoothly in less than 10 minutes. All the zombies were slaughtered. Everyone started to make up. Those zombies that were cut in half were not dead yet, and they had to be stabbed in the head. Only the red-clothed zombies were left alive in the corpse group. She is special. There are a pair of big eyes, clear red and white. Unlike the eye sockets of other zombies, which are cloudy and fuzzy, and her eyes are amazing. He was very beautiful, with a pair of red eyes that shone with a strange luster. Do not kill me. I didn't attack you, it was your people who did it first. 35. Everyone at the scene was dumbfounded. Even the well-informed Nakesha was dumbfounded for a moment. You can speak. How can zombies speak? This is really a fantasy. Although zombies can evolve, but the ability to evolve, the ability to speak is a bit unacceptable. Don't say anything else. A man-eating creature that can speak human words, but always feels disgusted in his heart. How many people did you eat? Elora asked. The red-clothed zombie quickly shook his head. I've never eaten anyone. So let me go? Impossible. You are a zombie. How can you never eat people? The red-clothed zombie pointed to the corpse of the ordinary zombie on the ground. Do you think they have eaten people? Most of them have never eaten people, because I can't find anyone alive. In a word, it expresses the sadness of the end times. The zombies want to eat people, but they can't find them. There are fewer and fewer survivors. The zombie in red continued. In the early days of the T-virus outbreak, my father first turned into a zombie, and then killed my mother. I was scared and hid in the basement. Fortunately, there was food in the basement, and the water didn't stop at first, so I got over it. I thought there would be rescue. I didn't expect that. On the 10th day, I also became a zombie, and then I don't remember anything. I'm confused. Just the other day, I slowly regained consciousness and found that I was still trapped in the basement. 35. That is to say, during the time when I became a zombie, I was locked in the basement. Do you think I've eaten people? Natasha nodded. If what she said was true, she must have never eaten anyone. Zombies have no intelligence. After locking yourself in the basement and turning into a zombie, if the door of the basement is strong enough, the zombies cannot leave. But you can control zombies. Your eyes are not like ours. You will still eat people in the future. We can't let you survive. Soldiers, your words and my words. Everyone hates zombies, and many people's close relatives are eaten by zombies. If it wasn't for Natayusa, they might have rushed up and killed the red-clothed female zombie. In fact, this is what Naisha cares about most. Although this red-clothed female zombie has recovered human thinking, she even has 597 human habits, such as changing into clean clothes. But she was always a zombie. What did you eat? Natayusa asked. The red-clothed female zombie hesitated for a moment, struggling violently in her heart. Answer me. 35. Natasha did not want to give her time to think. The female zombie in red gathered up her courage and said, I suck blood. I have sucked the blood of animals twice. 39. Natayusa added, because you don't encounter humans, you can only suck blood from animals. In your eyes, human blood should be the most delicious, right? Otherwise you wouldn't come here with corpses. 35. Because you smell human. Am I right? The female zombie in red did not admit it, but there was no objection. She really wants to suck the blood of human beings, including now, when she sees Nikisha in front of her. She especially wants to go up and bite her. Only after regaining consciousness, seeing the weapons in the hands of Nikisha and the others, she suppressed the urge to suck blood. A man who knows how to control his desires. 99 And the zombies that restore human memory, it's a bit difficult. Nikisha was caught in a tangle. It must be a scourge to keep it, and it was a pity to kill it. She always felt that this zombie had high research value. It's just that there are no scientists in the temporary camp, let alone scientific research equipment. Take it back, leave it to the commander and see how she handles it. 390. It seems good to have a female zombie. Natasha asked the soldiers to tie up the female zombies but did not dare to step forward. After all, it is a zombie, and it already has a strong psychological shadow, and it will be gone after a bite in the end. He still pointed the gun at the female zombie. She took the initiative to put her hands behind her before the soldiers dared to tie her up. The convoy carried the female zombies back to the temporary camp. It happened that Wang Shishi also came back. Commander, we caught a zombie that has recovered its memory. Nikisha told Wang Shishi the process concisely. Wang Shishi was also surprised to learn that this zombie could speak and restore the memory of his life, but she didn't know what to do with it. This matter must be reported to the base. Wang Shishi pressed the communication headset and quickly reported the news to the infantry army. She belonged to Yi Kimon's 2nd Legion fighter. About a minute passed. A golden light flashed in the sky, and a figure descended from the sky and landed on the temporary camp. Wang Shishi was taken aback. Leader, the survivors of the temporary camp, with wide-eyed eyes. Is he the leader of Yizishan? Natasha and Yarla looked at Xiao Yu. I didn't come back to my senses for a while. They kept guessing that the top of Yizishan should be a woman. After all, I have seen it on the promotional video, and the commander of the temporary camp, the mecha warrior Wang Shishi, is also a woman. Can give a powerful mecha to a female warrior. It shows that the status of a woman's Yizishan is very high, and the leader must be a woman. I didn't expect it to be a man. Where's that zombie? 35 Xiao Yu didn't notice Nikisha either. What he cares most about now is the talking zombie. Wang Shishi took Xiao Yu and quickly came to the storage room of the farm. Opened the door. Inside was a beautiful woman with black hair like a waterfall, but her eyes are red like a ruby. It shone with a strange luster, and her body was pierced with more than a dozen bullet holes, and the blood had solidified. Even so, except for some sluggishness in physical movement, it was not life-threatening. Xiao Yu realized instantly she is the talking zombie. Is that you? The female zombie didn't know what Xiao Yu was asking, but Xiao Yu had already released mental perception. The identity information of the female zombie, including her inner thoughts, appeared in Xiao Yu's mind one by one. Your name is Liu Xiao. How do you know? Xiao Yu didn't answer her, and continued to use spiritual perception to detect Liu Xiao's identity. She didn't lie. Judging from the information Xiao Yu knew, she was indeed at the beginning of the apocalypse. After her father killed her mother, she hid in the basement of her home alone. However, when the T-virus broke out, she unfortunately turned into a corpse and became a zombie. And bad luck, her family was wealthy before the end of the world, and the iron door in the basement was fortified. After Liu Xiao turned into a zombie, he couldn't break through the reinforced iron door, plus he had no IQ after turning into a corpse, and he didn't know how to open the lock from the inside. Just stuck in the basement. It was not until after many times of evolution that the memory of his life and the IQ of human beings were restored. That he knew how to open the locked basement and escape, and she did not eat people during the zombie period after escaping from the basement. He never sucked human blood, although she felt that human blood was more fragrant, but she hasn't tasted it, and that's why she can suppress her instincts with reason. Xiao Yu didn't want to kill her. A zombie with a human IQ that restores the memory of his life is very valuable for research. Shivan Xiao Yu is not a scientist, but Baijin is a biological geneticist, so she can study it. Of course, it's not just slices, blood drawn, and genes extracted. I may not kill you. 35 Even keep you by my side, but there is a premise. You are not allowed to suck human blood. I will give you the blood of evolution beasts every day. 55 Once Liu Xiao is allowed to suck human blood, it will become addictive like a drug, and she will no longer be able to control it in the future. I promise you. Liu Xiao nodded seriously. Very good. 35 I hope you can really do it. If you relapse, I will kill you without hesitation. Wang Shishi on the side was startled. Chief, think about it again. 35 It's too dangerous to keep a zombie by your side. If she doesn't control it, just bite you and the consequences will be unimaginable. Xiao Yu just stopped. Don't be nervous. 99 Zombies are no threat to me. Xiao Yu has too many means to save his life. Xiao Yu's hardening attribute alone cannot automatically resist 2 fatal attacks, not to mention being bitten by zombies. Even if Xiao Yu was attacked with a cannon, the bullet would hit the head, but it would not cause any damage. Besides, An Menglu's super healing, even if Xiao Yu's hardening is used twice and then bitten by a zombie, Xiao Yu can still use super healing to get rid of the corpse poison. In fact, Xiao Yu's biggest reliance is Bai Jin's gene enhancement attribute. All team members are immune to the mutated T-virus, not limited to Xiao Yu. All members of the team will not be infected after being bitten by zombies. That's why Xiao Yu dared to bring Liu Xiao back to Yizishan after making a decision. Xiao Yu took out a modified fighter jet and prepared to take Liu Xiao back to the base. Xiao Yu can move at the speed of light, but Liu Xiao couldn't. Her body would be torn apart instantly by the super high speed. By the way, how is your injury? Xiao Yu pointed to the bullet hole in Liu Xiao's body. It hurts 39, but the bleeding stopped long ago, and I don't feel weak. Have to say, zombie bodies are really weird. If you don't eat for so long, you won't starve to death. Although you're injured, it affects your movement, but it's not fatal, and you don't even feel weak. Xiao Yu also did not intend to treat Liu Xiao. He wanted to see how strong Liu Xiao's self-healing ability was. Anyway, the bullet pierced through his body, and there was no bullet in his body at this time. Xiao Yu saw Han Kexin from a distance, immediately suspicious. How can there be foreigners in this temporary camp? Li Nua's Hao? Wang Shishi quickly explained. Chief, are you talking about Natayusa and Yarla? They are from the Snow Country. The one who drove a helicopter from the Snow Country to defect to our Yizishan came to the temporary camp according to the instructions of the broadcast. 5. By the way, Natayusa is a special soldier, currently serving as a temporary camp commander. Liu Xiao was caught by her. Xiao Yu suddenly became interested. The 2 women from the Snow Country were able to travel thousands of miles to the East Country to defect to them, similar to Alice and Tanya. Go and call them over. Yes, Chief. Wang Shishi whistled, attracted Han Kexin's attention, and beckoned. 2 women trot all the way. After walking in, Xiao Yu's eyes lit up. One of the women with white hair was very beautiful, even more beautiful than Tanya and Alice. What's your name? Yang. Natayusa. 391, Tactical Genius, Deadly Black Widow. When Natayusa said her name, Xiao Yu habitually released spiritual perception, peeping into her inner secret and identity. You're not a special soldier, it's Snow Country's almighty Agent 35. Han Kexin was shocked. She couldn't understand why Xiao Yu knew about this. She didn't even tell Yarla, although along the way, Natasha's performance made Yarla guess that she must be a simple character, but she is a smart woman. Natasha's true identity was never asked. Han Kexin wondered how Xiao Yu knew about her secrets, but Natasha's psychological quality is very good. Not feeling squeamish about a lie being wrongly exposed is an essential quality of an agent. I do not understand what you are saying. Of course she wouldn't admit it. Xiao Yu smiled. Actually, you don't have to lie at all. For me, don't say you are an all-around Agent 99. Even if you are a terrorist, I dare to let you join Yizishan. It's the end after all. It doesn't matter to Xiao Yu what his previous status was. There was only one thing he didn't say: if Natasha is really a terrorist, the end result is slavery. It's not that Xiao Yu discriminates against the identity of terrorists. Such people tend to do extreme things. 597. It is therefore necessary to curse the strictest bondage of the contract, which ends in slavery. Of course this is just an assumption. My base area needs all kinds of talents, and you are the one I need. Give me your hand. Such a beautiful woman must meet the conditions for joining the team. Xiao Yu naturally wouldn't let it go, but Han Kexin didn't know what Xiao Yu was going to do. She restrained a panic in her heart and stretched out her hand expressionlessly. Xiao Yu grabbed her hand, then enabled team permissions. Ding. Team matching in progress. Name, Han Kexin. Occupation, Almighty Agent. Comprehensive score, 98. Ling. Meet the team conditions. Han Kexin successfully joined the professional goddess team. Ling. Team members +1. You will get rewards, and all attributes will be doubled. Very smooth. And Han Kexin's comprehensive rating is as high as 98, which is the highest rating in the team. There are currently 21 team members. Xiao Yu also received a 42-fold increase in all attributes, plus a 50% increase in Yi Kiming's dynamic fitness blessing. Xiao Yu's full stats have reached 63 times. Moreover, it is due to the increase in the physical fitness of the safe professional fighter, BHCD. which means that the current Xiao Yu can easily hit 11,000 pounds of attack power with one punch without any exaggeration. Even without a weapon, it is very easy to break the bones of the giant beast with one punch. At this time, Nakasha felt a power pouring in from Xiao Yu's body, and she was stunned. Even as an all-around agent, he has received strict psychological training, but he can't keep calm in Doomsday. There is nothing more exhilarating than gaining power, and in that instant, Natasha felt like she had become superhuman. Not only the physical quality has undergone a qualitative leap, also has a mysterious power at the same time. There was an information bar floating in front of him, with many names written on it. Densely at the top is Captain Xiao Yu. There is a hint at the bottom. Be kicked out of the team, or the captain dies. You will lose all your power. Nakasha looked at Xiao Yu with a complicated expression. Captain Xiao Yu realized that her power was bestowed by Xiao Yu, just when she held her hands. Who is he? Can you give strength to others? Words cannot describe Natasha's excitement at this time. Xiao Yu took out a magic-modified helicopter from the space warehouse. You two get into the plane. Xiao Yu was naturally referring to Liu's Ioxio and Nakasha. The magic fighter can only sit for 2 people. Now there are 3 people including Xiao Yu, who can only take a helicopter. If you have any questions, go back to the base, and someone will explain it to you. 5. Xiao Yu's tone was calm. Natasha could feel that giving her strength seemed to be a normal thing. Could it be that the people on the information list, like myself, were given the power by Xiao Yu? At this time, Xiao Yu was checking Nakasha's professional attributes and skills. Professional attribute: tactical genius. The entire team has genius tactical command capabilities, can quickly process multiple information flows, risk assessment reports, etc., and can quickly respond to changing tactical situations. Everyone is a very efficient strategist, tactician and commander. Xiao Yu read the attribute introduction immediately. His eyes lit up. Really dozed off to send pillows. All-round agent, just a professional attribute, is very comprehensive. Then global evolution exploded completely, plus the expansion of overseas colonies. It means fighting all over the world, which is a great test of the commanding ability of the team members. Natasha's occupational attributes: it just fills the gap of command ability. Even this occupational attribute can be given to followers and ordinary warriors. After all, hundreds of colonies will be established around the world. It is impossible for every colony to send team members to garrison. And Xiao Yu's team can't have so many people, so the vast majority of colonies' followers should be dispatched as commanders. The attribute of tactical genius is a must for every commander. Xiao Yu continued to check the occupation skills. Deadly Black Widow, combining superb gymnastics, miscellaneous skills, martial arts, fighting skills, and fighting skills into one. Comprehend the mystery and become a deadly invisible Black Widow. When the mental state is full, you can fight in stealth for 30 minutes. Good. Xiao Yu was satisfied with Nakasha's skills. The skills contained in the skills are very comprehensive. The fusion of gymnastics and acrobatics, and then comprehend the profound meaning, make the movement technique extremely superb. The fusion of martial arts, fighting and fighting, the attack power is extremely strong. After comprehending the profound meaning, the most important thing is to have stealth combat capability. Consume spirit. Although the full mental state can only last for 30 minutes, it is not a problem for Xiao Yu at all. Spiritually exhausted, give yourself a mouthful of amazing milk, and you can immediately enter the invisible state again. You can even breastfeed yourself while stealth. This way it won't cause it to show up halfway through. You must know that Nakasha's invisibility will not be exposed because of an attack, which is completely different from the invisibility of a thief. In an online game, it's still a level 1 skill. Xiao Yu took out a bunch of experience orbs and let Nakasha crush them. Wondering what else could be unlocked at levels 3 and 6, now it's time to leave the makeshift camp. Natasha was the captain of the camp, and since she was going to be taken away, she would definitely have to choose another one. Originally, this matter was left to Wang Shishi. However, Xiao Yu decided to appoint himself when using spiritual perception to peep into Natasha's heart. He also learned that Yarila, who was traveling with him, was also a very sturdy woman all the way up. The fighting power is very strong, so Xiao Yu added Yarila to the entourage team, granted her attributes, appointed as the captain of the temporary camp to assist Wang Shishi in management. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 392. The population is about to explode. Hurry up to transform the mecha. The magic helicopter began to take off. Nakasha waved to Yarila, and the two of them did not feel sad about parting. Anyway, they would meet in at most 20 days. The temporary camp will take everyone back to Yizishan for a month at most. Those who did not come can only fend for themselves. Xiao Yu couldn't have been searching the country for survivors all the time. Xiao Yu was driving the helicopter, and Na Kexin was pinching the experience ball in the co-pilot, breaking through the skill limit with one after another of energy. Her deadly Black Widow skill has broken through one after another. It quickly reached level 6, unlocked twice in a row, but not a new feature, but the duration of stealth combat was extended to 2 hours. That is, in a state of mind it can continue to fight in stealth for 2 hours. It is terrifying to think about it. Just a Natayusa. As long as you bring the Red Queen host, one person is enough to destroy a chalet base because it is impossible for anyone to discover her existence. Xiao Yu decided to assign Na Kexin to the Penglai Island base as an admiral in the future. I will definitely take on the task of colonizing the sea. Considering this reason, she also gave her 4 skills, which are enhanced headshot. This is a passive skill when you don't use the tracking bullet, unlocked at level 3. You don't need to consume mental or physical energy. Natasha is great for boosting headshots because once she enters the invisible state, until after the end, there is no nurse by her side. She can only rely on Liu Tingting's 5 times the recovery attribute to restore the lost spirit on her own, especially at the moment when the stealth is lifted. The mental state is relatively weak. If in danger again, you need to rely on the skill of strengthening headshots to buy yourself enough time to recover. The second skill is Yi Kimin's heavy weapon, level 6 heavy weapons. As long as you hold a weapon that does not exceed 600 Jin, you can immediately enter the realm of the unity of man and knife. It also does not need to consume energy. After Natasha is released from stealth, she will have a short period of weakness to enhance close combat, especially the holy heavy. Unlocked at level 6, you can control the heavy weapons in your hands at will, and divide it into N, which can change a lot. Not only the fighting style is flexible and changeable, it can also become a heavy shield defense. After the heavy weapon is level 6, it becomes a melee skill with both offense and defense. The third skill grants Qi Qingguang. This is a must-have skill for all players. The fourth variety actor. This is also a must-have skill for all admirals of the Navy. At a critical moment, they have to turn into water dragons and dive into the deep sea to fight. At this time, Na Kexin looked at Xiao Yu next to her with shocked eyes. Although she didn't say anything, but the shock in her heart has subverted the 3 views, and she really can't understand how Xiao Yu gave her strength and so much at once. Is he a god? Natasha is not a religious believer, let alone the existence of God, but a series of encounters for her to be unable to explain, or even to justify herself. The only explanation is that Xiao Yu is a god. Don't look at me like that. Every team member is just like you. 35. There are even more powerful players than you. I give you strength, you do things for me. It's that simple. By the way, I have to sign a contract when I go back. Natasha was taken aback. I didn't expect that there are more powerful players than myself. As for signing a contract, it doesn't matter, as long as you don't let yourself die. What does a contract matter in the face of absolute power? The speed of the magic helicopter is very fast. In a blink of an eye, he flew back to Yizishan, and after stopping at the school grounds, Xiao Yu took back the space warehouse. This is his special plane. After returning to the mountaintop villa, Xiao Yu asked Xiaoran to come back and arrange rooms for Na Kexin and Liu Xiao. Although Xiao Yu planned to bring the two to the Penglai Island base, Natasha temporarily joins Alice and Tanya's team, and is responsible for the magic-modified battleship and heavy weapons together. But in the future, they will go back to Yizishan when they have time, so you have to have your own room. Not long after, the two walked out of the villa area and changed into their uniforms. Natasha's body is very hot with a burgundy wavy hair. The overall score of 98 points is really eye-catching. Liu Xiao is also very beautiful, but Xiao Yu is not going to accept her to join the team for the time being. After all, she is a zombie, and she has to be carefully observed. Xiao Yu quickly drew up the curse contracts. Both were given one. Looking at the inexplicable content in the contract, Na Kexin and Liu Xiao both wondered if they had read it wrong. Flowers. This contract is a joke. Is there a problem? If there is no problem, sign it quickly. I still have important tasks for you. The two no longer thought about it. It's useless to think. Just sign the name directly. Then Xiao Yu instructed Xiaoran to take people to continue to transform the chariot mecha, because 500 security points. Once they start to send people to the base, then there will be a population explosion. There will be more people who will become fighters. The number of mecha warriors will also skyrocket. If nothing else, the current active base warriors are expected to become mecha warriors, so more chariot mechas are needed. Then he instructed the Ministry of Agriculture to go outside to collect a bucket of giant beast blood. This is Liu Xiao's ration, promise to give it to her after the blood of the giant beast is sent. Xiao Yu drove the helicopter, carrying Nikisha and Liu Yi to the Penglai Island base. On the way, Liu Xiao was also given double shooting, martial arts talent, storage warehouse, and driving specialization. The driving specialization is given to better control the mecha. Xiao Yu didn't intend to give Liu Xiao too many attributes, but as his entourage, and temporarily acting as personal bodyguards, Zhang Yan and Liu Ying, after all, have been promoted to admirals of the Navy. Xiao Yu has a follower by his side. Let Liu Xiao serve temporarily, so I have to give her a mech. In terms of skills, I will only give her a magic modification machine for the time being. When I arrive at a Penglai Island base, I will be responsible for transforming the battleship together with Alice, Tanya, and Nakesha. The other side, the Antarctic continent, the secret base of the Lizardman. The reincarnation officer and his adjutant were having a solemn meeting. Both were spitting letters. Means a bad mood. Your Excellency 99. The Sea Beast army led by Andrew was completely wiped out, especially Andrew, who was instantly killed on the spot. We observed that he was killed by a torpedo, but the weird thing is, the power of this torpedo is too great. Andrew is the king of beasts, and his huge body was blown to pieces. What the hell is a torpedo that is so powerful? Could it be that Yizishin can transform not only missiles, but also torpedoes? Again. 393, Stupid Shirai, destroy Yizishin. The reincarnation officer's face didn't look very good, especially hearing what the lieutenant said. The adjutant sighed and looked at him. Your Excellency, Yizishin has always surprised us, and this time I am afraid that it has indeed modified the torpedo. Think about it, only this idea holds true ever since I discovered this place. One Finger Mountain. Yizishin constantly opposes them, and can transform torpedoes to blow Andrew to pieces. It's really something they can do. The reincarnation official did not look, and sat quietly. The air was unusually quiet, can hear each other's breathing clearly. Although I hate to admit it, but the reincarnation official still said, it seems that the technology of Yizishin has been improving. Yes, Yizishin is progressing. It is precisely because of this that they have to find a way to make the base stronger and more powerful. Their single-handed plan will never allow others to intervene and stop them, especially One Finger Mountain. The only way to deal with Yizishin now is to wait for the giant beast Roth Connor. As a giant beast, Roth Connor has the ability to unify the grasslands of the Black Continent. All you need is time to wait. Just wait until Race Connor unifies the Black Continent. They are confident that they can destroy Yizishin. Oh, right. It's not that there is another sea beast. Soros 35. Soros unites the beasts in the deep sea, the Black Continent steppe. And Riskana unites. 5. Division of labor and cooperation is a good thing for us. As long as the giant beasts in the two places are unified, it will bring a huge natural disaster to Blue Star. When the time comes, Yizishin will be submerged by the beast tide. The reincarnation officer suddenly smiled, looking extremely cunning. It seems to have seen the scene of Yizishin being destroyed. Your Excellency is right. Such a powerful natural disaster, human beings will not be able to escape. One Finger Mountain will also disappear with the natural disaster. Even if it doesn't disappear, the loss will be heavy. At present, the giant beasts in various places have begun to be restless, bringing a lot of damage to the earth. Destruction is certain. Just need to wait for the destruction to come to Yizishin. Although Yizishin has many powerful weapons, even though Yizishin is how powerful that man is, natural disasters are natural disasters. When disaster strikes human beings, what can the helpless human beings do? In contrast to the endless beasts, they only fall into fear. The adjutant thought of something and reminded him a few more words. Your Excellency, although the Shirai are the lowest class, they are very useful to us. The reincarnation officer spat out a letter and looked at him with some confusion. What's the meaning? It means that the Shirai people are stupid. Just pawns in the plan to destroy the world. Once the Shirai are dead, memories remain in their minds, but I don't know why I am alive again. I also said before that I just need to find a suitable time to show up and tell the Shirai people they gave the Shirai a chance to be reborn. A foolish Shire will not doubt, but only believe. Presumably when the time comes, this group of stupid Shirai people will pursue them with all their hearts. So, Yizishin is not only dealing with us, but on the bright side, the Zilay people are treated to death. Once they found the Shire, they didn't hesitate to fix it. Your Excellency, I think we can expose the bases of all the Shilay people and let the people of Yizishin deal with them. The reincarnation officer's tightly closed lips moved down slightly. I wanted to say something and heard him say it again. I mean, it's not just that the soul of the Shirai after death can just lean over the beast. Just tell them that we brought them back to life, and they will be very heartfelt to us. When the time comes, let them do whatever they want, and let the Zilay beasts quickly unify the Black Continent grasslands and the behemoths in the deep sea, and launch a natural disaster. That's a very good thing for us. That's right, this is indeed a very good thing. Such thinking will also allow their plans to be completed ahead of schedule, but everything has to think about the consequences. With the help of the Zile people, the unification of the giant beasts will speed up once discovered by the Union Army. What will happen then? Have to think of another way to deal with the Union Army. Think left and right. I don't think this method is a foolproof solution. A single finger made them exhausted, not to mention dealing with the Union Army. The reincarnation officer did not dare to take such a risk. Forget it. Although the idea is good, I dare not think about the consequences. Your Excellency, Yizishin is the one we should really deal with. The lieutenant was anxious. The reincarnation officer didn't seem to hear. Get up and walk outside. Adjutant, the idea is good, but the consequences are almost meaningless. Looking at the distant back, the adjutant clenched his fists tightly and kept spitting out letters. He now wishes he was a reincarnation officer rather than an adjutant. Take the initiative to issue an order to expose the foundations of all the Shelley people. Prejudice he is not, although he is very optimistic about his own ideas. But the reincarnation officer did not agree. There is no way to have a good idea. Officials crush people to death. Such a rationale. Finally, he loosened his fist and sighed in his mind. He kept thinking about the damage caused by the natural disasters of the giant beasts to Yizishin. This time, the giant beasts are not so easily defeated. The appearance of the giant beasts will definitely give the people of Yizishin a drink, even if it hasn't spread to Yizishin yet. But the catastrophe inflicted on survivors around the world was also a massacre without resistance. It is located in the western continent, in a certain clump of mountains. A group of survivors take refuge here. The environment here is very complex, the terrain is steep, and a large scale corpse tide cannot reach here. The camps are also getting bigger. There are more than 200 people, but an evolutionary crow descended from the sky with wings that covered the sky. The survivors fought back immediately. Gun control in the western continent is very lax. So many people have guns. The survivors shoot with long guns and short cannons, aiming at the evolutionary crow. The bullet hit the metal-like feather without causing any damage. The evolutionary crow ate more than 20 survivors, and after a full meal, it flew away swaggeringly. It 2.3 didn't kill anyone else. It looks like I'm going to keep it and eat it again tomorrow. It has been used as a hunting ground. The surviving humans also realized the seriousness of the problem and had to start shifting. The other side, in the kingdom of the pharaohs, a group of survivors hid in the pyramid, and the entrance was blocked by a large number of abandoned vehicles. Have to say, in the last days, the pyramids are natural fortresses of refuge. Thousands of survivors live in the 3 pyramids, but recently people are dying every day. Sometimes evolutionary scorpions, sometimes evolutionary venomous snakes in the shape of an evolved beast. 20 or 30 people are eaten at a time, and they come out of the ground. Can't prevent it. The survivors of the pyramids had to start migrating to flee. Similar tragedies continue to unfold. Even the deep sea beasts are the same. 394. In troubled times, zombies will think too. There are many yachts floating in the ocean most of the time. The yacht is anchored near the sea, and as long as it is moved every 3 to 5, it will not be targeted by zombies, and the fuel consumption is also low. Very safe. But with the start of the Great Evolution, these yachts at sea, including warships, are all under attack. Survivors on land were attacked and able to escape. None of the survivors on board could escape. The number of survivors around the world began to plummet at the same time. Xiao Yu, who was lying on a rattan chair in the back garden of Yizishin, rarely enjoyed the peace in a chaotic world. A ray of light sprinkled on the tip of his tall nose, making it even more upright. Comparing such comfort with global catastrophe are two entirely different scenarios. Xiao Yu didn't know what was going on in the far away from them. The Red Queen did not perceive everything in the distance. However, it does not mean that there are no new discoveries in the Red Queen. Master, there is a new situation. Hear the voice of the Red Queen. The contented Xiao Yu opened his eyes. He knew something must have happened. What's the situation? The army of zombies from Yizishin has taken over 17 cities in the plains. Xiao Yu nodded. The army of zombies is now under the jurisdiction of Yizishin. The place they occupied represented a place that was a finger mountain. Unfortunately, the Red Queen has not reported everything. Master, in the zombie army, it was found that more than a dozen zombies had recovered their memories before their death. The zombies who have recovered their memories far away in the plain city already have IQs. No more walking dead puppets. They would talk, think, and think like humans soon. A huge screen appeared in front of Xiao Yu's eyes. Shown above are thousands of zombies. This group of zombies is distributed in various other places. The only thing that stands out is that there are small groups of zombies around, sitting and sitting, lying down, and even some with a cigarette in their hands. Zombies will smoke. What a terrible thing. Not very scary, but very scary. If there's the first zombie that smokes, there will be a second zombie that smokes. Once they can smoke and think, it means that they will do other unexpected things next. Of course, this is not allowed. Let them go to occupy the city. Because they have no IQ recover the memory of the previous life and think together, it is very likely that a new group of races will emerge from this group of losses smart zombies. It's hard to get a group of people without intelligence. Now there is a group of intelligent people. Xiao Yu will never allow it, although Liu Xiao is also a zombie, but she has never eaten anyone or hurt a human life, and Xiao Yu will control her to a certain extent to ensure that she will not hurt anyone. And the group of zombies on the screen is different. They are the first batch of zombies not only eating people, but also destroying the original buildings in the city. Zombies stand on the opposite side of human beings. And this thing can never be changed. This matter cannot be delayed any longer. It must be resolved quickly. How many zombies have recovered their memories now? Judging from their behavior, 12 zombies have recovered their memories. Answered after read. Understood. I'll deal with it right away. As soon as Xiao Yu turned around, his body slowly sank, gradually disappeared in the back garden. Xiao Yu, who was in a state of nothingness, began to point out the mountain over the mountains through the hint of the Red Queen. I came to the zombie group who tracked and recovered their memory. Looking around, there are groups of densely packed zombies underneath. The city is about to be taken over now. The losers took over the shop dwellings. Xiao Yu was at a high altitude, his body passing through tall buildings. There are a lot of zombies in here in a state of nothingness. Not a single zombie would notice Xiao Yu. Every time Xiao Yu walked through these tall buildings, you can see the scene of the building, but once you pass through the strong body, it is black in front of you. Master. Just ahead. According to the guidelines of the Red Queen, there are only tens of millions of kilometers left for ordinary humans. Of course, it is far away, but for Xiao Yu, it was just a matter of time. He must speed up to find the group of zombies who have recovered their memories. I'm afraid that more zombies will restore their memories in the next second. He moved forward quickly, keep moving towards the hint given by the Red Queen. I don't know how long it took. Finally, I saw a group of zombies surrounded by a relatively comfortable environment. Since Xiao Yu was in the air, it was a little farther away. I don't know what these zombies are talking about, however. It can be seen the zombies sat there chatting very easily, not walking aimlessly like other zombies. Master, it's there, makes Xiao Yu puzzled. Liu Xiao is a zombie whose memory is restored. The same goes with a corpse group, but these zombies, the more human-like they act, the less they can stay. What are you doing here? Xiao Yu suddenly appeared and interrupted their chat. One by one inexplicably turned around and looked at the speaker. Before that, they checked that there was no living person. Why did people appear so well? It seems that some zombies recognized Xiao Yu, he said in a low voice. Leader, it remembered what Xiao Yu looked like. It was Xiao Yu and another beautiful woman who let them down the mountain. Why are you here? 35 Xiao Yu continued to ask. When all the zombies knew that Xiao Yu was the leader, no one dared to speak. They all know how powerful the leader of Yizishan is. Didn't you bring us here? Xiao Yu asked again. How did you get infected and how did you recover your memory? Due to the strength of Xiao 597 feathers. Everyone told the truth. More than a dozen zombies. There are more than a dozen different answers, but almost all of them will become zombies after being bitten by relatives and friends. As for what to restore memory, some say it was 2 days ago, while others say it was yesterday. In the past 2 days anyway. Xiao Yu couldn't help thinking of Liu Xiao. When I discovered Liu Xiao, I realized that zombies can restore their memories. Just imagine if the future, zombies all over the world will restore their memories, including IQ. That's a whole new race, and it is a race that feeds on humans. The giant beast has already made the world very bad, and there is another intelligent cannibal, and this cannibal only has the brain as the fatal part. How serious the consequences are. So no matter what, Xiao Yu must destroy these zombies, even if they once opened up territory in ancient capitals and other cities for Yizishan. They killed a lot of wild zombies. It is also a hero, but it must also be killed, and Xiao Yu has used spiritual perception to know the past all eaten. At this time, they looked at Xiao Yu one by one. Even though they knew that he was the leader and their master, however, these 12 zombies have begun to go out of control unexpectedly. They all gathered around Xiao Yu. Looks like he's ready to eat him. 395. The end of zombies is today. 12 zombies with recovered memory and IQ want to eat Xiao Yu. Their bloodthirsty nature can no longer be suppressed. Xiao Yu's eyes turned cold, instantly disappeared from the side of the zombies. Haven't waited for the zombies to look up. An orange shotgun appeared in Xiao Yu's hand. Pull the trigger. Boom. 95. The low and unique sound of the orange shotgun sounded the moment the sound of gunshots fell. 12 zombies gathered together, each with a huge hole in the head. Half of his face was missing. With the appearance of the hole, white brains flowed out of the head, flowed down slowly along the inertia. In the next instant, all 12 zombies fell to the ground. The death was extremely appalling. Xiao Yu sneered. Unbelievable, death is their destination. Who told them not to be ordinary zombies? They had to restore their memory soon. The white brains of more than a dozen heads were left on the ground after confirming that all of them were dead. The male protagonist left an orange shotgun, plus the bomber skill can kill the evolutionary beast without leaving any room, not to mention the zombies who have just recovered their memory. Not even if the memory is restored, killing them is only a momentary thing for Xiao Yu. Back to One Finger Mountain. Xiao Yu was not idle for a moment. Using the communication headset, Baikai and Nigun and Yun Duo were called. They came as fast as they could, concentrate all the zombies we control in the fishing city and use grenades to solve them. Each Corpse King has 10,000 zombies under his hands. Originally, they were supposed to become an army of zombies, to attack other wild zombies and expand the territory for Yizishan. The zombie army has about 880,000. The rest of the zombies were all sent to other cities. When the two got the order, they nodded immediately and said, "Okay, Captain. Go right away." The positions are different. Air Force Minister Xiao Yu belongs to the captain of the second team of the infantry regiment. In order to better execute the order, they chose to divide their troops into two groups. Xiao asked the Corpse King to gather zombies, while Yu selected some people from the infantry battle group. Howitzers require infantry chapter control. Although I don't know why Xiao Yu wants to destroy the zombies he controls, but also know that it will be a matter of time to eliminate all the zombies in the world. Xiao moved quickly, and the execution of the Corpse King is also very strong. Soon all the zombies under his command were concentrated in the fishing city. Fishing Town is a place dedicated to burning zombies. This place is chosen so as not to cause any pollution. Such a scene suddenly appeared on One Finger Mountain. All the zombies went out one after another. Everyone knows there must be something big going on, but no one dared to ask in a Finger Mountain. Everyone has a different level. The lowest they have no right to interrogate as long as you do your part well and continue to live in this world well. Captain, Yizishan has a total of 88 million zombies, all of which have been concentrated in Daoyu City. Xiao pressed the communication headset to report truthfully. As far as she knew, there were only so many zombies in Yizishan. Xiao Yu replied, Well done. The dense group of corpses stood out in the open field of vision. They swarmed like wasps. They are a bunch of zombies that don't think, not even brainy. I don't know what will be waiting for them next. Zombies are the natural enemies of human beings and should not live with humans, especially thinking zombies. If it is not eradicated, no one will know how many zombies will recover their memories tomorrow, how many zombies will regain their memories the day after tomorrow. One day, either zombies will die or humans will die. So, today is the best time to make a move. The Corpse King was not far away, motionless except for the zombies in Yizishan. There are still many zombies in various cities. To gather all the zombies, we must rely on the Corpse King. After all, he is a Corpse King, and his commander's ability to put in is much more powerful than the average person. Yikimin in Daoyu City waited early. The soldiers behind him stood neatly and orderly behind Yikimin. The military uniforms complemented their heroic appearance, and the howitzers prepared on the side were their weapons. Prepare for the bombing of zombies. This time, Fishing City once again welcomed so many zombies. The female warriors are not afraid of bombing zombies, and even more looking forward to it. If it weren't for this group of zombies, they wouldn't be homeless and running around. Fortunately, Yizishan has now become their safety. Baking, key man. This group of zombies will be handed over to you. You also know the power of howitzers. The corners of Yikimin's mouth rose slightly. The group of female warriors behind her were even more confident. No problem, leave it to me. I promise not to let any zombies live. They know the power of howitzers. Once the howitzer was launched, none of the zombies could survive under the watch of Xiao. The cannons were fired immediately. Soon, the howitzers shot straight out of the barrel, and plunged straight into the zombies at the fastest speed. They only saw a ghost, and only a bang explosion was heard, and the howitzer exploded directly in the zombie group. In that scene, blood were flying, and the smoke was filled with gunpowder. For a while, only the sound of the howitzer exploding could be heard. Dust from howitzers blew up in the air as the smoke and dust dissipated. What catches everyone's eyes is a piece of charred land with flames looking at it again. As far as the eyes can see, the smashed limbs of the zombies have been blown up by the howitzer, and their flesh and blood are scattered. There was no complete zombie corpse that could not be found at the scene, and they were all turned into flesh. Although I have seen it with my own eyes, but at this time, everyone was once again surprised by the sight in front of them. Words can no longer express the shock in their hearts inexplicably. They just feel refreshed in their hearts. Killing so many zombies at one time is exactly the wish of their hearts. Let these zombies that hurt humans die. Master, Li Nua's Heo, Zishan's zombies have been wiped out by Xiao and Yikimin, and there is no survivor. 35. The Red Queen's mechanical voice sounded. Xiao Yu smiled slightly and nodded, looking at the scene on the screen in front of him. There was no sign of life on the charred land. Not even a single weed was bombed. Presumably, Even in a few years, there will be no life here to continue to grow. The wind blew gently, and the flame swayed slightly. Well done, you two come back first, Xiao Yu's voice came from Yi Kim and Yi Keshu's communication headset. The two nodded and said, "Okay, Captain, the zombies of One Finger Mountain have been solved. Only the zombies outside the mountain were left. Zombies are all over the city. Even if all the construction land is to be bombed, this group of zombies must be wiped out. Not one left. More people are needed to handle this matter." So, Xiao Yu called Tang Kingsu and the Air Force Chief Wan Xiaoliang again. 396. The whole army attacked and annihilated the zombies. When Yi Kim and Yi Keshu arrived, Xiao Yu and the other two were already waiting for them. "Captain, we're back." Liu Xiaoxiao regained her memory as a zombie. This has never happened before. In addition, it was also found that some zombies in the city also recovered their memories, thinking, chatting, and even wanting to eat me. The four were taken aback. I thought that the captain would dare to eat, and he was so courageous at the same time. They also understood why Xiao Yu had to deal with the zombies. Zombies can no longer be left, and a new race with wisdom and cannibalism cannot be allowed to appear in the future. Intelligent zombies. 5. Captain, these zombies are really abominable, even you want to eat them. I agree with your approach and leave no part of the zombies killed. Yi Keshu spoke for him indignantly. Yes, Blue Star is not a place where zombies should live, and zombies should not appear in this world. Killing them is the most sensible choice. Tang Kingsu also thinks so. It's not just them. I'm afraid everyone in the world feels this way. Captain, are we going to kill all those zombies? As long as you give an order, we will go now. The crowd was a little excited in their hearts. Zombies should have died long ago? That's right. Using the modified passenger plane to bring corpse kings to various cities, a total of 8,800 corpse kings, enough to distribute. The magic modified howitzer car can't be missing. Bombing the zombies controlled by the corpse king must not show any signs of survival. However, every magic modified howitzer vehicle must have a protective battleship to avoid interference from the flying behemoths in the air. 5. You should know how to distribute yourself. Of course there is no problem. This simple little thing is left to us, Tang Kingsu said confidently. Soon a magic modified howitzer car, magic modified fighter jets and protected battleships set off from Yizishan. Not a single one that flew in the sky and ran underground fell. The magic modified howitzer car is based on the latest type of howitzer car before the end of the world, and it is derived from the magic modified machine tool. The magic modified howitzer vehicle still uses camouflage to cover the entire body. The vehicle is about 18 meters long and is equipped with two 455mm caliber howitzers. The right wing is equipped with a millimeter wave radar and is connected to the red rear, and the rear of the car is equipped with a manually operated battle position, which can accommodate up to 2 people. Its full car can accommodate 10 people. It adopts hydraulic retreating machine, high and low machine and steering machine. The ammunition carrying capacity is 50 rounds. The maximum range is 180 kilometers, and it is equipped with a 12.7mm heavy machine gun. The blast radius is 300 meters. The modified howitzer vehicle looks more powerful and has smoother lines in terms of performance. It is much more powerful than ordinary howitzers. Not only does it have intelligent battlefield management, but the Red Queen can report the situation in front of the battlefield and the data of the opponent one by one in advance. Let the operator of the howitzer have more hostile objects in all directions on the armor. High-strength armor and alloy armor are used. No matter which one it is, it can easily resist a hostile bombing whether aiming or reloading. It is fully automatic and intelligent. Automatically aim at the enemy and automatically reload. The average speed of the howitzer car without the magic modification is 70 km per hour. The average speed after the revision was 120 km per hour. The maximum output power was enhanced from 1,600 horsepower to 7,000 horsepower. Such speed and output are beyond the reach of ordinary howitzer vehicles. There are 2 female warriors in each control position. A magic modified howitzer vehicle came out of Yizishan. Not only that, but there are also magic modified passenger planes flying in the sky. The modified passenger plane is filled with corpse kings, sitting neatly and consecutively. Airliners are actually civilian aircraft. Civil aircraft are all non-military aircraft, also known as civil aircraft. The original cruising speed is above 800 km per hour, and the flight altitude is above 10,000 meters. The speed of the modified passenger aircraft has been increased by 6 times, reaching more than 4,800 km per hour. A turbofan engine with low fuel consumption and high efficiency is used, and the wing has a high-efficiency lift device, which shortens the takeoff and landing distance. BHCD, has increased from 350 to 500 people on ordinary airliners to 800 to 1,500 people. It is characterized by fuel economy, low noise and advanced onboard equipment. The plane carries 2 wings on its back. The wings are about 10 meters long and 7 to 9 centimeters thick. There is a thick white round rod under the wing to support it. In order to prevent the wings from flying in the sky break, there are also radar and lights, which are convenient for use at night. The radar is extremely sensitive. As long as it encounters an obstacle and bounces back, it will be displayed on the display. The illumination range of the navigation lights is 210 degrees, which is twice as much as the original passenger aircraft. Allows the driver to better see the road ahead. The display is controlled by the Red Queen, which will more accurately detect enemies or obstacles in general. The modified passenger plane is quite successful. One passenger plane is enough to hold 1,500 Corpse Kings, that is to say, a total of nearly 60 passenger planes are flying in the air. A total of 36 howitzer vehicles were dispatched. Every vehicle is escorted by air fighters. Everything that flies in the sky and runs underground. Moreover, air fighters are no ordinary aircraft. The bomb load is 10.5 tons. The combat radius is 1,500 kilometers. Maximum flight speed is Mach 2.0, because it uses the GE9X engine, the transonic engine. The overall appearance of the fighter is gray and wide, and it uses a streamlined body like a fish, which can greatly reduce the resistance of the air to the flight of the fighter. The fighter is also equipped with anti-aircraft guns, 10 rounds per second. Each fighter can carry up to about 500 rounds, and 2 to 4 active radar-guided medium-range bombs. The Magic modified fighter can carry up to 2 people. The front seat is the fighter operation seat, which is mainly responsible for the combat aspect of the fighter, and the rear seat is the detection position. With the most advanced radar detection equipment, an alternate fighter control and fighter lever are also provided for the rear driver between the front and rear seats. These air troops transporting Corpse Kings are especially numerous, and all the combatants and non-combatants present were shocked by the scene in front of them. I don't know. I thought we were going to have a world war at Yizishan. If I hadn't come to Yizishan, I would never have seen spectacular scenes again and again in my lifetime. Otherwise, the leader of our Yizishan is amazing. It's so cool. When I can touch the operation panel on it, don't think about it, the people who go up are all women chosen by the leader. Yeah, there are no male executives in Yizishan. Whatever he has, I'll be thankful to have a life to protect us. Everyone, you look at me and say a word, all revealing envy and excitement. However, this is normal. After all, there are dozens of modified howitzer vehicles, modified passenger planes, and modified fighter planes collectively dispatched to transport the Corpse King to bomb the zombies. The scene is so vast, how can one not be shocked by it? 397, the world of the weak, the lowest level of zombies. Tang Qingsu, Yi Qiming and others used the Magic modified fighter jets, carrying all the Corpse Kings, leading the howitzer vehicles and Magic modified fighter jets, and began to speed up towards each city. At this time, the zombies in various cities did not know what was waiting for them at the next moment. For zombies without intelligence, danger is nothing to them. Although they are facing death, in the face of death, they also belong to the little chickens who are helpless. Zombies are different from the creatures in nature. They have spirituality in nature, whether it is flying in the sky, crawling on the ground, or swimming in the water. Once a natural disaster is imminent, they will sense it for the first time and make different abnormal actions. This is the creature in nature. Spirituality is the best gift God has given them. As the howitzer car set off, there was a flurry of dust everywhere. It passed in the front of the howitzer car. In the light of the light, the lines are smooth, the body is huge, and it looks very mighty. The most important thing is that there are dozens of howitzer vehicles behind. The female warrior on the control panel couldn't hold back the excitement in her heart. Finally, once again, there is an opportunity for actual combat. For them, it is the leader who cares for them and is willing to give them a chance. That's why they should cherish them even more. And flying in the sky is even more amazing. The huge passenger planes are surrounded by 4 or 5 Magic modified fighter planes, one front, back, left and right. There are nearly 100 of them flying in the sky. The rays of light from the sun made the previous Yizi mountain covered with sunlight. Now, because of huge passenger planes and aviation warships, the golden light was scattered on the passenger planes and aviation warships, give them a golden glow like a heroic eagle soaring high with their mission. With their expectations fly forward at the fastest speed. One Finger Mountain and the surrounding land could not see half an inch of light. Looking up is a huge air battleship. These huge and powerful mechanical weapons blocked the dazzling light. A huge shadow formed on the ground. The entire Yizishan fell into silence. No one is not looking up at the Magic modified fighters flying in the sky. That's what gives them hope that survivors strive to survive without these mighty and powerful heavy equipment. There is no such powerful leader. They have long since become a zombie somewhere. Only death awaits them. There are many people in the Air Force that set off. And you can tell just by looking at the flying in the sky. Every dispatch of One Finger Mountain is meant to protect the survivors. Female warriors know this well before each departure. They were fully prepared. Not everyone can touch these powerful machines. Since they are given the opportunity, they will definitely take it well. Will not live up to the expectations of the leaders and survivors. Some of these female fighters were actually fighting for the first time. It used to be a simulation, and there was no difficulty for them at all. I couldn't contain the excitement in my heart. Also a normal thing, but precisely because of that it was the first time to travel in the sky, and it was hard to be unhappy. I finally really became an air warrior. Flying a plane and bombing those pesky zombies. We are here to protect the Zombie King, and the job of bombing zombies is howitzer vehicles. Yes, look at me. I forgot about it when I was happy, but I'm still very happy. It's your first time to see you. This is my second time to play, but I'm also very happy. The leader is willing to give us this opportunity, that is to look down on us, and we must work hard. In the Magic Modified Fighter, the dialogue between the main pilot and the co-pilot, every word can reveal the mood at this time. Master, Tang Kingsu, Yi Qiming and others have taken large troops to various cities. 35 The Red Queen reported truthfully. Xiao Yu nodded in satisfaction. There are so many howitzer vehicles, enough to bombard every zombie in the city without leaving a piece of armor. Such is the law of existence in the world. The weak eat the strong. When the zombies broke out, the group was huge, and innocent humans were brutally killed. C1 bites one. At that time it was just that they were not human enough. Zombies cannot be executed now. Yizishan led by Xiao Yu is the safest and most powerful place in the Eastern Kingdom. Zombies also let him do what he wants. Let them die today and not survive tomorrow. In a country hill far away in the plains there are 4 or 5 zombies who have recovered their memories hiding in the cave. They are very smart. The city is full of their kind, usually hungry and not even fresh blood. Going to the nearby hills, there are at least snake nests and hedgehog nests underground, mouse weasels hidden in caves, etc. For flowers, although not as abundant as human fresh blood, it's enough for them to have a meal, at least not like in the city. There is no drink at all. Gradually, but only 3 or 4 meals. Nothing was left in the mouse hole in the snake's nest. They kept wandering in the mountains desperate for fresh blood. At the same time, Xiao Yu discovered these zombies through the Red Queen system. The zombies on the mountain are obviously much smarter than the zombies found before. They know how to actively seek blood and find ways to solve their own hunger problems. However, only this moment was left. Hope they can have a good meal, best meal before hitting the road. Kingsu, pay attention. There are 4 zombies who have recovered their memories on Dabe Mountain. 5 Xiao Yu pressed the communication headset upon receiving the message. Tang Kingsu looked at the screen on the main console. This is the system controlled by the Red Queen. There are red dots all over the screen. As long as there is a red dot, it means that there are zombies. Dabe Mountain is a small mountain in the city of Shooty Plain. Click on Dabe Mountain to have a look. There are still many zombies around and in the hills and various entertainment facilities in the city. There are also many zombies. Okay, to Captain Tang Kingsu replied. Dabe Mountain is in the city, and it is not difficult to solve those zombies, but it's a howitzer thing. After the howitzer goes down, they will definitely not be able to eat and walk around. Even this time suddenly there was a zombie that seemed to feel the threat of life. He is an old zombie with white hair and long beard. When you get older, even if you become a zombie, it is not difficult to see the majesty in your daily life. For a person who has recovered his memory and has been performing tasks all year round, it is very sensitive to face danger. This seems to be before the earthquake, before the flood. Many creatures respond differently. No, I don't think there's any danger. The other zombies didn't feel scared when they heard what he said. There was even some excitement. Is there a bigger animal coming? Or is there a human? The white eyes of the zombie were full of greed. It's greed that wants to suck blood. 398. The end of zombies has come. Each of their zombies who recovered their memories was longing for fresh blood, especially human blood. No, it's not a human voice. It's not an animal voice. 99. The old zombie quietly listened to the sound from the air. He analyzes like a human being. Use your brain to identify what sound belongs to. Why didn't I hear 35 yet? I didn't hear it either. You don't want to drink blood. You want to be crazy. The voice fell. Not yet. When they reacted, a black thing looked like an arrow feather that had left the bowstring. Quietly draw a perfect arc in the air. Accurately landed in Dabe Mountain. There was a rumbling sound, as if the sky was shaking. The black missile exploded instantly. The powerful impact from the explosion caused the surrounding area to become blackened for several hundred meters. No matter whether it was Main 97 in Dabe Mountain or around Dabe Mountain, they were all fried to pieces a few hundred meters away. It also tore a powerful hole in the air because of the powerful impact. In an instant, The zombies around Dabe Mountain were blown up, and not even the flesh was missing. Choose to fire howitzers at Dabe Mountain. It is entirely because the zombies who have recovered their memories have the ability to think and act. If they didn't listen to the Corpse King's control and stayed in Dabe Mountain, wouldn't it have given them a chance to survive? The first shot of the howitzer was fired on the shooty plane. This is helpless. According to the tips of the Red Queen, there are 500,000 zombies in Shu. These 500,000 zombies occupy every corner of Shu land. According to Yi Kishu, one Corpse King can control 10,000 zombies. A total of 50 Corpse Kings were placed in Shu. Dabe Mountain is not a very good place to burn zombies. Yi Kishu looked for the most empty place in Shu on the screen. A rural, extremely remote place at first glance. It is all open space, and the buildings next to it are also made of mud. This place is clearly not yet developed. The main thing is that the small mountain village is located between two mountains. No tree. After seeing the building, but this also gave Yin Kishu a good opportunity. Corpse Kings are distributed in every place in Shu. All the zombies and units of 10,000 are concentrated in remote small mountain villages. In this remote mountain village, Tang Kingsu specially kept 5 howitzer vehicles. Now wait for all the zombies to concentrate. The mission of Shu has been largely completed. Going forward, there are nearly 500,000 zombies in a small county. 48 Corpse Kings were put in and uniformly also found a very secluded place, without any buildings or other living life. All these zombies are concentrated in very secluded places. What awaited them were the shells in the howitzer cart. Not only them, even the Corpse King will die with them today. Just after today there will be no more zombies in the world, not to mention zombies with brains. Whenever there are zombies, Yin Kishu, Tang Kingsu, and others have gone to it. It took them a lot of time to go. As the number of Corpse Kings released increased, the number of Corpse Kings sitting on the passenger plane became less and less. It also means that their mission is coming to an end. Zombies will soon disappear from this world. Looking at the red dots on the screen, almost all of them are concentrated in a small place in each city. Yi Kishu nodded. It's time for Tang Kingsu to order the bombing of the zombies. She pressed the communication headset. Kingsu. Kimin. The screen on my side shows that all the zombies are gathered in the same place. It's time to take action, and let's get rid of those abominable zombies, Tang Kingsu said. I think you are very right, Kingsu. Let's start. Yi Kimin is very sure that these zombies will die without a place to be buried. The next moment, it seemed as if all the sky above the blue star was flashing black shadows like lightning. A perfect arc was drawn in the air. Imagine doing it at night. It is very likely to be as beautiful and gorgeous as a shooting star. Immediately after, boom, 99 boom, boom, there was a sound of shaking the sky and the earth. The sound seemed to sound at the same time. In less than 3 minutes, the originally intact land became a piece of charred black. The air smelled of burning. More than half of the entire zombie team has died. They didn't know how they died. Even if they have intelligence, it is impossible to know. They were attacked by howitzers. The howitzer has enormous power, and the blast radius is 120 meters. Lots of lucky chips dropped. Then they were all picked up by the female warriors. What you need to know is that the lucky chips dropped by zombies are not very powerful, but for them female warriors, it is enough. Among the lucky chips, the blue lucky chips are the worst. There are a lot of blue lucky chips, and some purple ones, but most of them are still blue. Zombies can also drop orange or green lucky chips. Tang Kingsu's thoughts moved, and by the way, he collected a few lucky chips, all of which were put into the storage warehouse. Immediately afterwards, the prompt also rang. Ding. You picked up the lucky chip and turned it into a shotgun. The blue shotgun is okay, not particularly bad. Ling. You picked up the lucky chips and turned into a blue seedling knife. Meow Deo is a good thing. Also blue, it almost makes sense. Ling. You picked up a lucky chip and turned it into a purple sniper gun. Not bad. Ding dong. The lucky chips you took when you took it became level 2 experience balls x3. Well, overall not bad. Tang Kingsu took out a purple sniper rifle. As for the experience ball, it will be left to Xiao Yu and Queen Hong. The purple sniper rifle is very gorgeous. This is a semi-automatic sniper rifle. The mechanism is strong and the action is reliable. Not only that, but also the firepower continuity. The sniper rifle weighs 8 to 10 kilograms, has a long barrel, and has a magazine for ammunition. With a capacity of 70 rounds and an effective range of 900 to 1,500 meters, Tang Kingsu felt very happy about 2.3 and couldn't help but want to try it now. He gestured with his sniper rifle and aimed the scope at the head of one of the zombies. The scope, magnified several times, made her happy. Just as he was about to try it out, Yi Kimin's voice came from the communication headset. Kingsu, it's time for the second shot. Tang Kingsu wanted to cry but had no tears, so she reluctantly put it down and put the purple sniper rifle into the Nokang. Now it's time to get back to business. The first few shots of the earth Shattering cry of ghosts and gods have just been fired. The real fun is yet to come. Tang Kingsu looked at the content on the screen. Okay, Kimin, I got it, she shouted into the communication headset. Let's go. 35 again. This time, all Langsing felt the world shaking. Even the clouds in the sky were affected by it, and were scattered by the powerful airwave. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 399, Blue Star Captive Farm, Can't Be Destroyed. After Xiao Yu returned to Yizishan, he asked the Red Queen to release the surveillance video seeing the magic-modified howitzer car bombing everywhere. I was relieved the 8,800 Corpse Kings will lead the zombies from all over the world to concentrate and kill them. Although the efficiency is very high, but I want to destroy all the zombies in the Eastern Kingdom. It's not a matter of a while, and it is still uncertain whether all the zombies will obey the command of the Corpse King. What Xiao Yu is worried about is the zombies who have regained their memory and IQ. For now, zombies who have just recovered their IQ and have not been around for a while will still be under the control of the Zombie King. 17 But it is not ruled out that some zombies will take a long time to restore their IQ. The brain's awareness of resistance is stronger. Liu Xiaoxiao is one of them that can resist the brainwave signals of the Corpse King. Xiao Yu tried it, let a Corpse King release the signal, but Liu Xiaoxiao just struggled slightly and then got rid of the control. In fact, it didn't take long for Liu Xiaoxiao to recover her memory and IQ, just under a week. Xiao Yu has reason to suspect that zombies that restore memory and IQ should be divided into three types. The first, he has just recovered his memory, his mental resistance is very weak, and he is easily controlled by the Corpse King. The second, it takes a long time to restore memory, and the spirit becomes more full, which can resist the control of the Corpse King. The third, in other words, a zombie like Liu Xiaoxiao was a highly talented person. As soon as he recovered his memory, he was full of mental energy and could easily break free from the Corpse King's control. But even so, there are so many zombies all over the country, and even the whole world. Xiao Yu couldn't wipe out the whole world in an instant. This also led to a dead end. Even those zombies with weaker spirits would grow over time, making the Corpse King uncontrollable. They also run around, even hiding in the deep mountains and old forests. Therefore, Xiao Yu cannot completely clean up the zombies, and in the future, a new cannibal will be born. This is inevitable. What we can do now is to try our best to eliminate the zombies in the Eastern Kingdom as soon as possible. In fact, Xiao Yu also considered using magic-modified nuclear bombs. With a nuclear bomb currently in his hands, it would be perfectly fine to bomb the Blue Star once, but he had to worry about two things. First, the bombing of the magic-modified nuclear bomb is bound to cause changes in the environment and climate, and even trigger geological movements and volcanic tsunamis by jinns. Environmental transformation can only transform the ecological environment, unable to change climate, geological movements, volcanic tsunamis, etc. Xiao Yu still has to survive on Blue Star. He can't destroy the planet. Second, using the magic nuclear bomb to clean up the Blue Star also means that the evolutionary beasts in the world will also be killed. Modified nuclear bombs are not ordinary nuclear bombs. Think of the original M City in Country Y. A nuclear bomb directly blew all areas of M City into the ground from the map as if scraped with a shovel. No creature can survive if you blow up the giant beasts. It means that you will not be able to get a level 3 host and level 3 experience balls if you brush 597. Xiao Yu also expects to upgrade the Red Queen, as well as the skills of the team members, so whatever you can't clean up the Blue Star with a nuclear bomb, and even let the giant beast grow on purpose because Beastmaster will explode level 3 props. Although there is only one Red Queen, the team has 21 members, and their skills all rely on the Beastmaster to explode the experience ball. Besides, Xiao Yu has 2 system skills. There are 23 skills that need to be upgraded. Level 3 experience orbs are in very high demand. In addition to the host and experience orbs, magic equipment requires a lot of gold, and it has to be generated by killing giant beasts. So, in Xiao Yu's eyes, Blue Star is a captive farm. The monsters are all monsters that he keeps in captivity. 400, make up Moonheart. The Great Xiao Yu? However, although you can't use mushroom eggs to clean up the Blue Star but can be monitored, the Red Queen, here Master, you usually pay more attention to the zombie activities of Blue Star, especially the bombed areas. If there are any surviving zombies, to be locked at the first time. 35 will have to clean it up again in the future. Yes, Master. The Red Queen naturally understood what Xiao Yu meant, since there was one Liu Xiaoxiao, there would definitely be other zombies who recovered their memories. For humans, this kind of zombies that have recovered their memories, once they form a group and even form a new zombie civilization, the threat is even greater than that of giant beasts at this time. Xiao Yu, who is meditating on the roof, listened to the conversation between Xiao Yu and the Red Queen, and couldn't help but fell into deep thought. She also often hears the word memory zombie these days from the fragmented dialogue. I know that individual zombies have recovered their memories of their lives, even regained their IQs. Xiao Yu also realized that the surviving human beings will face even greater threats. Look at Xiao Yu in the garden downstairs. Xiao Yu appreciates him a little more. This man never mentions saving mankind. 35 But everything he does is to save mankind and preserve the fire of human civilization. Even overseas colonies, those who are ruled, have no freedom, but are alive. Don't worry about being eaten by zombies and giant beasts. 99 This moment, Xiao Yu's image in her heart was even taller and taller. She is a monk influenced by Taoist culture. The core of Taoist thought is people-oriented, and every monk is a free and unrestrained wild crane outside the mundane world. But the master often teaches the monks of my generation should take the common people of the world as their own responsibility, and wish to have a peaceful and prosperous world, and hide in the mountains and forests without asking about the affairs of the world. In fact, Taoism does the same. In troubled times, monks must come down the mountain to eliminate violence and be peaceful, and return to seclusion in prosperous times. Makeup Moon admits she was timid, did not follow the teachings of her master, and did not inherit the ideas of Taoism. The beginning of the end, she didn't dare to go down the mountain to face the zombies. She just wanted to live in seclusion in Qingchang Mountain. If it weren't for the evolutionary mouse ruining Taoism, she will even live on the mountain until the immortal dies. Instead, it was Xiao Yu in the apocalypse. He has taken in so many people, organized strength, and fought against heaven and fate. At least Makeup Month thinks so. In her eyes, Xiao Yu is great. The other side, in the hexagonal meeting of the chalet people, the people of the 6 major families are having a tense meeting. On the video of the meeting, the surveillance video of Dongfeng Kingdom was played back. Morgan said hurriedly, "Everyone, take a look. These places used to be the areas where the Yizishan forces passed through. When they passed by, the floor was full of mutilated zombies." 99 Too much? Morgan said in disbelief. He pointed to more than a dozen surveillance images, each of which was full of corpses and shredded flesh. Even the central area of monitoring it became a black purgatory. Directly, are these zombies, bombed zombies? 9 From the monitoring, Li Nuazhao can see some corpse heads, dead gray skin, dead gray eyes. It's the hallmark of zombies. Yes, they are all zombies. 5 We can't calculate the number, but at least we can be sure that every surveillance picture represents a city where the zombies were killed, and we can't find out what Yizishan was used to blow up these zombie yangs, because the signal is blocked. It's terrible. What kind of weapon is it that can kill so many zombies so quickly? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.